What is good, people? It is the King of Anime Podcast. It is I,
Oh.
Sasuke the Savage.
And me, everything animated.
Joined by everything animated. We may be down a member. I haven't quite noticed it. Maybe other people will notice it a little more. But we had to push forward. Yeah, yeah. Forget that guy. But we had to push forward. All right, so the show has to go on. Now we have a lot to cover because we were not present last week. So we have about
play catch up.
10 episodes to cover, and we don't have a lot of time because it is pretty late, I'm sure, for everybody on especially the East Coast. It's pretty late, so we won't try to make it a 3-hour podcast, but
yeah. Well, I mean, daylight savings time did happen, so I mean, it should be the normal time now.
Well,
who knows? To me, it doesn't make a difference because I live in Arizona. Nothing changes.
We have an innate talent for talking about nothing and harping on stuff that's not important for 30 minutes. Upon minutes upon minutes. So, but we'll see.
Very true.
We'll see. So I think I didn't write anything down for news because I feel like people may be more interested to know what's up with us other than current events. And just too, because since we missed the podcast, we had to cover like news from last week too, and I don't want to do all that.
Yeah, I don't mind either. I mean, the only thing I posted was that they announced literally like a few hours ago that they're making a Legend of Zelda live action movie. It's going to be from Sony Pictures. The man himself, Shigeru Miyamoto, will produce it because that's his baby. And the person that will direct it is Wes Ball, the guy who made the Maze Runner movies. And the producer is Avi Arad. I looked him up. He's apparently produced every single Spider-Man movie, including Into the Spider-Verse. So,
wow.
I mean, it should be good. I have high hopes.
Okay.
Look who's in the chat.
Legend of Zelda live action. That probably would go over well. I'm not a big Zelda fan. I only played maybe 2 of the games, one on GameCube, maybe both on GameCube. That I think about.
Wind Waker.
What was it? It was the one with the. What was it? Was it a flute? It was the one. Okay,
that's the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, that's
like that's known as like one of the greatest of all time.
Huh?
Yeah, there's Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker. I love the Wind Waker. Twilight Princess on the Wii was pretty great, and of course the newer on the Switch. Breath of the Wild. Yeah. I haven't played the newest one yet, but I want to.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is one I heard about. I have not played that yet. That may be a game that I end up playing, streaming one of these days. I actually just finished Rain Cold from Team Danganronpa, which was a very important game to me. And I finished that. Rain Cold definitely isn't as great as any of the Danganronpa games in my opinion. I still think it's good, but one thing that's always present with all those games, except for, well, I can't say this because I've never played it, but I can't have this opinion with the Spare Girls because that's the one Danganronpa game I never played. But they always end everything on a good note. No matter how I feel about the game, the ending to me is always great across all of those games. And Rain Cold it had its mid moments, but man, when I got to that final chapter, I actually cried. Like, it was bad. It was the worst cry I've ever had on stream. It was the worst.
I might have to see that just for the cry.
I had to bring out the tissues for that. It was really bad. It was really bad. But I'm happy that I could feel that way about it because it was a lot of moments I wasn't feeling it, but I had fun overall at the end of it. So,
Oh, good. I'm glad. As for me, my Arizona Diamondbacks made it to the World Series, which I was so happy for. And then they got their absolute asses handed to them by the Texas Rangers. I think they lost the series 4-1. There was like a blown save in game 1, and then everything was just like a beatdown after that. So I'm honestly happy they made it that far, because I didn't think that they would even make it even to the World Series. I was just happy they were in the playoffs and they went all the way. It was like an unexpected thing, kind of like with your Heat last season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were in 8th and then they just went all the way to the finals. But yeah, it sucks. Cardinals suck. So the heart, they just rip my heart out when it comes to that. All I have to look forward to are the Suns, but they're not at full capacity. You know, people are hurt and stuff, so I'm just like, okay, gotta wait till they're a full team again. But other than that, just working, and freaking I like how C is in the chat talking about the cuckening ending.
Well, speaking of the chat, let's welcome everybody in. What is good, QRW6? What up, KOA? Congratulations to see AOT video being 9 and trending. You deserve it. And made sure I didn't click on Chibi Reviews video on a finale because I know it's not going to be objective. Big congratulations to C-Tactus. He's been hard at work, especially with Attack on Titan videos for the past, really year, I'll say. Since it started in early in the year, which I think a lot of people forgot Attack on Titan happened like early, like January, I believe. But yeah, congratulations to C-Tactics. Huge milestone for that video. Get it trending.
Yeah,
I don't know how many views is at now, but isn't it on the way to 1 million, or is it already there?
I think it's pretty close. Like when it was yesterday that he said that it was trending, it was like at 750K. I'm like, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. And yeah, exactly. See, you've been working so hard at that. It's just sometimes to see the fruit of your labor go is just amazing.
Definitely. Especially with YouTube, because you never really know how videos are going to go. You try to study the formula. You try to do this, do that, maybe even try to replicate somebody else's success to some degree. Try to do something that works for them. But you never really know how videos are going to hit on YouTube. Sometimes things just, I've seen videos skyrocket well after they were made. Sometimes it just happens like that. So
I've had a couple of those happen to me.
Oh yeah, we know the infamous video. But glad that C was able to experience that, not well after it happened, but in the moment of it happening, right after it was done. So good to see. What is good, Kenny? Decrepit Storm, Trayvon. Which one is the king? We both are kings. Both
That's
are
right.
royalty. Yeah. What up, yo? I don't mind a 6-hour stream. I mind it.
I have to wake up.
Yeah. QRW6 said Jaegers now had to accept the ending and move on. Well, I guess that was another bit of news. We won't talk about Attack on Titan. That will be for something separate, either on this channel or C-Tactics channel. Where we will talk about the final episode and just the finale of Attack on Titan. So if you're looking forward to our opinions on that, I definitely have had strong opinions on Attack on Titan when it ended. And I still do have those strong opinions. I still haven't watched the episode, but
really?
Yeah, I have not watched it yet. But man, oh man, I've been waiting to talk about that with the guys. So that should be a fun time. So if you're looking forward to that,
stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned to C-Tactics channel, of course. Subscribe to all of us. So who knows? Maybe we'll put it on everything animated channel just to keep y'all on your toes.
Yeah. Just we have a fucking video trending on C's channel, almost at 1 million. They just do it on mine.
Yeah, we need to do that. just to keep y'all honest, because hey, the number's not adding up. All of y'all not subscribed to our individual channels, so maybe we need to do something to shake things up. You know, hold y'all hostage.
We need to just completely take them by surprise and go on Sasuke the Gamer's channel.
Okay, now that's just dirty. That's just being an asshole. But is there anybody else that I missed? I think we got everything. Oh, we got Lightning Eagle.
Ellie.
Yes, the Thunderbird himself. Hope you had a good stream, Ellie. Oh, don't worry, they're trying to complain, but they're being dogged on by people. It's hilarious. Ah, man, it's no fun when a rabbit got the gun, huh? Now we have the popular opinion.
Now I'm the captain.
Pretty sure you guys promised 24-hour stream if it hits 1 million. Did we?
It wasn't me.
I don't think it was me.
I don't remember saying anything remotely like that.
If it was any one of us, it was our drunken alter egos or something. I don't know. Let's blame it on that.
Yeah. We were probably, if anything, we were drunk when we said it. We were just like, yeah, we'll do it. 24-hour million. Let's do it.
Go all day, 24 hours. It's not shit to me.
I can see us doing that.
But yeah, man, it's time to talk about actual anime. Before we talk about any anime for the season, we had to talk about Nakama Club Gargantia episodes 4 and 5. EA's pick, of course. So let's go ahead and get to talking about that. So I guess I'll start since you know, I'm the new guy in it all.
Yeah.
So this episode was the slice of life episode, or episodes. I kind of just talk about them as a whole.
Yeah, they were like I said, they kind of went hand in hand. To be honest, they were like one giant episode.
Yeah, I could definitely see what you were saying about it. You know, kind of blending in together. But yeah, because we had like the beach episode where we had like some fan service. We had some good things in that episode though. But I think the overall point of these two episodes was to get Leto assimilated with Gargantia and just have him live life. It's really the big overall point we were bringing with Zom 100 and specifically with the main character Tendo and Shizuka, where you have one character who wants to live life to the fullest and you have the other character who wants to survive, you know, extending their life as much as they can. Leto in his situation and his circumstance was all about surviving. It was never about living. You could see he doesn't really try to enjoy foods. Like he's eating, you know, different types of meats and barbecues in one episode, and, you know, having fun with that. He is understanding what favors are, you know, because that doesn't really exist in his world, in his realm. He's just experiencing how normal life for humans should be. And that's very interesting. You know, there was no fighting, there was no real action in these episodes. It was all about Leto just learning from different people about how to live life. You had Bevel, Amy's little brother. You had Bellows, I believe that was his name. Yeah, Bellows. Rigid and everybody. What was the other guy? Pompadour guy. Pinion.
Like Pinion. Yeah, Pinion.
Yeah, you had all those guys basically just there to teach him, you know, how to live life. And that was the focal point of these two episodes.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what I liked the best out of these two was in episode 4, it was essentially just Leto's conversation with Amy's brother and how, you know, he's bedridden, he can't get out of bed. Essentially what he said, in my society, we don't have people like you. They're disposed of. And I was just like, damn, that's rough. that's some pretty hard stuff, but it was very interesting just to see kind of the back and forth, because you have somebody who's bedridden that, you know, dreams of space and wanting to do things, and he kind of doesn't let his disability get him down. But Leto, in his mind, is just like, can't comprehend as to how somebody like that is even alive. Like, to him, it's just like, you're kind of a waste of space in a mean way, so to speak.
Yeah, it's the whole philosophy, you know, the weak will falter, the strong shall survive. That's the mentality that he was working with, because it's just, you know, military is all he knows. So it's all about just might equals right, in a sense. Even with like the aliens that come to attack him, you know, the people that survive are the people that were, you know, strong enough to survive attacks. So there is no room for people who are just smart, or who may give you a different perspective on life. There's no real room for love or anything like that. It's just living as long as you can. And that's the whole point. Or that's the life that Leto has been living up to this point. But obviously things are changing for him, because why? Because he got barbecue for the first time. Barbecue changed his whole life.
It really did. Like, they broke the machine, or it wouldn't turn on, or whatever, the grill itself. So then you had Chamber that was just like, I'll go ahead and I'll incinerate this. He literally incinerated it.
Target eliminated.
But Pinion had the great idea of, because he saw, you know, which was very smart, I thought, metal, you know, and the heat and everything, and how nothing. It was essentially just the heat was coming off him. He's like, come on down here, Chamber. And I love how the whole time he's like, why am I doing this? What is the purpose of me doing this? He said that multiple times. And he's like, you're helping me a lot. Just sit still. And he just kept putting meat on him. And I guess he sent Leto on a journey through some kind of caverns to get some barbecue sauce or A1 steak sauce, something to make the meat taste better. But I was just like, yeah, this anime has kind of that part hasn't aged well.
Well, I want to talk about that, because we definitely have to talk about that. But just to go more on, there has to be some engineer galaxies away looking at this moment, mad as hell that their super weapon is being used as a grill. Like, they're just
right.
Fucking, you're supposed to kill armies with that.
I could just see it too. He's just some scientist that's just like, he's ripping out his hair. He's like, this motherfucker's grilling meat on his forehead. No.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about. Oh my God. Oh, where do I go?
I forgot about that scene, to be quite honest. I was literally like, oh, that was a thing.
It is. It's a bad scene. Like, I'm trying to. It's a scene. It's not so bad that you can't ignore it, but it's a bad scene because it didn't need to be there.
Correct. I feel like they could have done something completely different, but instead they, how do we put this? Essentially, it's a bunch of cross-dressers that are, I don't know if they're cross-dressers, gay or trans or whoever they're supposed to be, but essentially what it is that they see Leto and automatically start coming after him and stalking him, and like very aggressively and forcefully trying to have their way with them. And it's just like, I mean, I know it's kind of weird because like Japan has this thing where they kind of like make jokes of people in that sort of way, but that's kind of what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like comic relief, and it's supposed to be like funny, when it's not really that funny. Like, to be honest, it's more just like unnecessary, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that, I mean, we've seen this with older movies and just media in general, how you know, a lot of marginalized groups were kind of put in this in horrible tropes, especially in this, where it's like, hey, look at the cross-dresser guys are, you know, basically sexually assaulting them. Because I mean, he ended that whole escapade with kiss marks all over his body and his clothes ripped to shreds. And in one instance, he literally almost died because they chased him off that platform that fell apart, and he literally almost died. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, think about that too, because that wasn't even the end of it. So he almost died from that whole thing, and they still pursued him. You know, it's just one of those instances where it's just an outdated joke.
Yeah, like I said, some, just like movies, just like shows, just like anything, some things just don't age well. And like I said, I completely forgot about that scene. Like, that's how much I completely forgot about it. But then when I saw it, I went, oh yeah, this is way this is way dated.
Yeah. Unnecessary
for sure. But I saw that part that you were talking about, where essentially they ran him up a tower and then it broke, and he Leto fell until Amy saved him.
Yeah,
there was 2 other people that fell. I'm pretty sure they're dead now.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure they fell to their death trying to get this guy.
Maybe the 2 other friends helped. Maybe Amy's friends helped. I don't know. Maybe they swooped in and helped too. But those are some big guys, so I don't know if they could really carry them. Leto's one thing. Those other guys are, you know, a lot bulkier. So
yeah. That same episode, there was essentially, it was a beach scene where it's like, put the sunscreen on my back. Oh, Leto, take off your outfit. You're so cute, and he's just in his boxer briefs. It's like,
the
let the man be. Stuff. Yep. There always has to be it in anime. It is what it is. But,
it wasn't too egregious in this episode.
No, I've definitely seen worse, where, you know, they take off their clothes and their meat's just going just jiggling. But yeah, it was just like normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's beach attire, so it's not really that much of an issue. So I don't really have a problem with that. It fit into the flow of the episodes in any ways, with it being a lot more lighthearted and it being for the sole purpose of getting Leto to open up and be more human-like. So in some weird way, it kind of just fits with everything. So no issues with it.
Right.
But I mean, the only thing else to talk about is that small flashback we got with Leto.
Right.
Playing the flute, or his mom giving him the flute. Or I'm assuming that's his mom, but that has to be his mom. There's no way she looks like that and isn't his mom. So
right, because he spends all his hours. It's like a part of that monster they fought. It's like a bone or a tooth or something, and he just drills into it constantly. Because I remember he was asked, "Why do you do that?" He's like, I don't know, just pass the time. I just do it. And it wasn't until Amy's little brother went ahead and said, "Oh, is this like a little flute? Let me see." And then he tried to blow into it and made a little sound, and then that's what triggered that flashback for him, where he was just like, "Oh shit, I have a past."
Yeah, and he actually cried from it.
Yeah,
kind of just shows you how
emotional.
Yeah, shows you how conditioned everybody in that world probably is, with discarding their human emotions and just not feeling things in general, because you would think that he would remember his mother, but it's not something he ever talks about. He didn't even know what a little brother was. He didn't know what family was, but he has one, like as everyone does. So that's one thing that we're kind of seeing more of. They are human, like where he is from. He is an alien on this place, but they're humans just like them. It's just that their circumstance was different. So they were taught things differently and they just act according to that. So it'll be interesting to see, I'm sure, whenever his lieutenant comes back into the story, because he also was in a fray with those monsters, and we didn't learn of what his fate was. They were leaning towards his death, but I'm pretty sure that he or somebody else from his squadron or something like that landed here and will probably give him a way out. Or somebody on the outside, of course. Maybe they'll try to find him. Who knows? But
yeah,
I feel like there has to be some bridge towards his old life for him to accept life on Gargantia, because I do think he'll end up loving to live here. But the real test is going to come whenever he has a way out. So
right.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big question. But yeah, these 2 episodes, when I first saw it way back when, I definitely wasn't expecting it to get kind of the whole slice of life type feel to it. I honestly thought it was going to be more, fighting pirates, fighting mechs to see what happened. But then when they went for the whole, teaching Leto about, calm days and essentially just what it's like to have fun, I thought that was a nice little added bonus. I was just like, okay, I see where the show's going now. Just a little different.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that.
Wait till he finds out about boobs.
When he finds out about those, he's going to be like, I want these all the time. Don't want to leave their sight whatsoever.
I kind of want to know how sexual attraction does work for them, because, that's just like something that's not something really taught for us. I mean, like fetishes maybe can be thrown in your face and make you rewire your brain, but like he still should have urges. So I wonder if they're just severely suppressed or something.
Right. It's like, I wonder if it's one of those where he doesn't even know what masturbation is. So if he was to like accidentally like rub up against something, like he would just be like, I don't know what that was, but keep doing it.
He already had that once in the first episode where he was just like tapping Amy's ass. So maybe that was like his body trying to like, hey, this is what you want.
That is true. That is true. He's like, I got a hostage. Oh man, I got a hostage. Is this what it means to have a hostage? I didn't know.
His body's more knowledgeable than his mind. But C-Tex is giving fun Sabelina facts. It's a good thing we don't give a fuck.
Yep.
We won't acknowledge that. Yep.
Nope.
Not reading.
Nope. Mm-mm. Let's move on to the main show, shall we? The King of Anime podcast.
Yes. So
let's talk about Rurouni Kenshin.
Episodes 17 and 18. What were your thoughts? What let me think. 17, 18.
17, that was it was the second part of a 2-parter, essentially what it was, because Kenshin was fighting with that one guy, and come to find out, he doesn't kill anybody. He's all talk.
He's a fraud.
He's a phony.
You're a big bad phony.
He is, as C said last night, he is an imposter. Yeah, that's I wasn't expecting that, to be quite honest, because he did kind of put on this big bravado of, I could break some old man's bones with a kendo stick, but yeah, when Kenshin literally was like talking to him, fighting with him, he's like, you've never seen the lights go out in a man's eye as you stab a sword through him. He's just kind of pumped him in a way,
I know what that feels like. I died in GTA. Just a fraud, man. Oh God.
Yeah, he was, and I know this is kind of skipping way ahead of that episode, but I think we pretty much called it with that young kid that was pretty much discouraged the whole time, and Yaiko, being the man that he is, or kid, excuse me, he was like, because nobody knew what to say to him. Everybody was like, oh, we feel bad. Oh, we're sorry about that. leave it to Yahiko to kind of give that kid motivation. Yaturo was his name, and just and then almost instantly just took out his left hand and just started blocking it with his sword. And I was like, "You called it."
For the longest, in the line of the Savages, the family of Savages, I have three daughters, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Gabby. Okay, Gabby's one of them. Chisato's one of them.
That's right.
Anzu from Hinamatsuri is one of them. All right. So I had 3 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm ready for a son.
Oh, you're gonna bring on Yahiko for a son?
I really like Yahiko.
Ooh.
I like kids that are just I like his personality. He's real spunky. He's really he's a troublemaker to some degree, but he's level in a way to where he doesn't come off as annoying for me. That's a fine line to walk to where you're still very childlike, but you're not annoying. There's a lot of annoying kids in shows, and there are kids who don't act like kids. But Yahiko acts his age, in my opinion, while still not being super annoying and just standoffish to the audience. And I kind of want to adopt Yahiko. What happened to the sons you had already? I had sons.
I don't think you had sons. I know you had nephews.
Yeah.
Tanjiro's
my nephew.
Right. Tanjiro's your nephew, and did you have another nephew?
I probably did have another nephew I forgot about.
The family tree is growing. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to tell Elsa you need a son.
Yeah. I got to talk to her about that, or talk to somebody else.
We're gonna. Oh, okay. We're gonna have to make some lore. Here's Satsuki at the top, and here's his wives and his sons and daughters and nephews and nieces.
Yeah, we have a whole family tree. It's gonna be 3 pages long. I need that.
With just you on the top.
Yeah,
They're gonna make a poster out of it, and you're just gonna be on the top. You're gonna be, Grandpa Satsuki, and then you're just gonna have lineage all the way down to the bottom.
The Decrepit Storm got me. Momiji is my son. I did forget about Momiji. From Fruits Basket.
From Fruits Basket. Yeah, okay.
He is my son.
That's right.
But the thing about Momiji, I know the reason why I forgot. He grew up too fast. He grew up to the point where I was just like, who is this grown ass man? He had that one. And it's the anime's fault, because I think the manga showed a little more progression. But there's just this part where he's a midget, and then the next time you see him, he's like 6'5". He's just like, "Hey, what up, baby?" And I'm like, "What the?" I was like, "That's not my son." He was supposed to be cute and cuddly and all of that. What happened to all of that?
Yeah, he went from a freaking bunny to a stag overnight. He was literally just, whoa.
So that's what happened with Momiji, but Momiji's still a part of the family. You are no son of mine, says the man who gets shot on the toilet. I will
always be your son. Damn.
No, episode 17. I wasn't too fond of this episode, other than the ending of it with what you mentioned, Yahiko and Yutaro. That whole ending sequence of it, him motivating him, I thought that was great for his character. Yutaro kind of getting out of his depression and vowing to still continue swordsmanship with his left hand. That's something that we said was going to happen. But it's one of those things, and I say this all the time, being predictable isn't bad. As long as how you get to that point is good, we won't have a problem with it. We pretty much called out exactly how this was going to happen. Didn't really matter, because it was still good. It's not always in your interest to subvert expectations. And in this moment, I thought it was uplifting while also not sacrificing the consequence of what happened. So they didn't fall back on, because they could have easily just said, "Oh, wait, that injury he had,
it's a miracle."
Yeah. Well, wow, Megami healed it. It's the first time we ever seen it. No,
Right.
they said he could not use his right arm anymore. He couldn't use it. So they kept the consequence up, but they made it uplifting by having him still pursue it with just his left hand, which, I mean, it'll be hard for him, but it's still possible. It's just extremely tough. Extremely tough.
Yeah, he's young. He's young yet, so I mean, he could definitely switch it to the left side. At least he didn't lose his hand.
Yeah,
like someone we know, and he had to literally start as an adult with his left.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, essentially, I feel like that was the whole episode, other than Rejuta just being this weird, obsessive kind of, I'm gonna land a hit on Kenshin. Because I agree with you when I thought this episode was okay, because I feel like they kind of tarnished his character in a way. I feel like we saw him in a light where he was just this guy that just really respected the old ways and swords and whatnot, but then he just turned into just this really pathetic excuse of a person, essentially. And you can't really respect people like that.
Yeah, that's the key word. He was respectable before. I didn't agree with what he was saying, and he had this whole mentality that I'm going to bring back this era, basically. Of course I didn't agree with it, but he wasn't malicious in his actions. But the minute he did what he did to Yutaro, and he injured him, and he was unapologetic about it, that kind of just diminished his character for me, because they took something about him, like I said, where he was respectable, and kind of just eliminated it. Now he goes to sneak attack Kenshin. He's just, and then finding out that he never killed anybody, so he can't even practice what he preaches.
Yeah,
it was just, I was left thinking to myself, okay, wow, they just shit on this character.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he could have been a more memorable villain or antagonist, but I think by the end of it, he felt a lot more generic for me. So
yeah, and they even had a moment where you thought he was going to become evil too, because you had that family that was praying at a shrine, and I thought for sure he was going to be like, I could be like Kenshin too, and just murder some random people, which, I mean, I wouldn't have necessarily liked that, but again, that's the whole antagonist mentality. Is he's becoming the very thing to at least embrace that, but he couldn't even do that. He essentially just made this pathetic excuse of a cry. Just
that cry was awful. Not awful in the voice acting. Awful just to listen to. It was just, I was just like,
yeah,
ugh.
It was like nails on chalkboard, essentially. Oh, yeah, that was a horrible sounding cry. That was just turn that down.
God. Yeah, he let out every emotion, every inconvenience, every trial and tribulation was put into that cry. He really let that out.
Yeah,
that wasn't just Kenshin beating his ass. That was everything. His girlfriend leaving him in the 5th grade. His mom beating his ass whenever he brung a D home with his report card. Him losing his job. It was everything. Every emotion came out right there. It was horrible. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, that was bad. And then that was the end of that episode, and that led into episode 18, which is essentially, this is another 2-parter, but it's a Sanosuke focused episode.
This one was much better in my opinion.
Much better. Very, very entertaining. We got to see a little more about him. I loved how, and I love when shows do this, where it's essentially, the narrator's talking about the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, the guy hears what the narrator's saying, and is just like, huh? What'd you say?
You sneak this at me? Hey, run that back by me.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny because I honestly wasn't expecting it. Like when he said that, I was like, "Oh, he heard what he said. Let me rewind to that."
Yeah.
This is funny.
So, this episode we were reintroduced, I guess, to the adult version of Sanosuke's childhood friend, Katsu. We'll just call him Katsu. His full name is Katsuhiro, but we'll just call him Katsu.
Okay.
And we find him out because he's painting things, because we had this whole setup to where basically just to lead us to this, to where he's trying to find a painting. He finds that person that painted this thing that interests him. He finds out it's his childhood friend, and he's not doing too well. He's kind of a pending terrorist.
Yeah, he's got bombs up the wazoo. He's like, "Hey man, I want to take on the government, you know. I got this."
He's like a conspiracy theorist.
He reminds me of that very much so. Like he's good at drawing, and he's just like, maybe some people might know someone like this, where they're very artistic and they're just good at something, but they're very conspiracy theory, and it's like, dude, I got all these bombs. I could blow up the fucking White House. He's just one of those people. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think this episode is essentially going to show who Sanosuke really is, where his loyalties lie, and essentially what he's going to do, because this thing ended essentially on a cliffhanger too.
Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely going to be tested with this whole thing. Now, he feels enough allegiance to the old cause, and I guess mostly Captain Sagara, to try to see this thing through, because they kind of want to honor his name, because it was dragged through the mud and completely disgraced with not only, you know, the decapitation of him put in public display, but just how that whole army was separated. It was just it was something that they would never forget. It's the reason why Sanosuke and as well as Katsu hate the imperialists the way they do. But of course, Sanosuke brightened up to Kenshin, and Kenshin is a different type of person. He's changed also throughout all those years, but that hatred probably still exists for Sanosuke. So it makes sense that he would follow through with Katsu, but obviously he needs to be reined back by people like Kenshin, Kaoru, Yahiko. He needs to be reined in by all his friends to show him the person that he is now. Even his friends were talking about how different he is. So, and that has to be a product of him traveling with Kenshin and the rest. So they had to be the ones to kind of remind him of who he is now, rather than the person he used to be. Because one thing that his Captain Sagara said to Katsu, I don't know if he said the same thing to Sanosuke, but he said the time for violence, guns, and swords is dwindling. There's going to be a time where we can kind of just be diplomatic about things rather than having to take things by blood. That time is coming. He knew it himself. So even though he was disgraced and he died the way he did, he would not want Sanosuke and Katsu to take on this path to oppose the government and, you know, probably be killed.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Katsu, he's a caricature artist, and he was going to be drawing Kenshin, and then just was like, "Oh, you used to be one of those imperialists."
One of those.
Well, he's like, "Well, used to be." He's like, "I'm done."
You don't get a face.
Right. He gave him one without a face, and to be honest, it kind of looks pretty cool. If he really wanted to make it look bad, he should have just done a pencil drawing, just dot line for the mouth.
He's like, here. He's like, here. Here's your head. Here's your little arms, your legs, and here I'm going to draw you a dick. Little pee-pee for you.
Right. Just a little speck. That's your penis. If you really wanted to assault the man, he should have just went full on like 5-year-old.
You might as well.
Figure.
It's already childish to not draw a face on them. He gave like this very detailed reason. I'm just the whole time I'm sitting there like, okay, you just don't like him. Is that simple?
Right. You're just being petty at this point. You're just like, oh, he's an imperialist. Well, here's your no face picture.
What was his? He was like, I can't even see your face beyond your. I was like, what are you talking about?
He really is a conspiracy theorist. He does a lot. He does a lot of opium, probably. From Megami.
Wait, not anymore. Hey, that's my wife. That's my wife you're talking about. Keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth.
Okay, fine. I'm just gonna walk up on stage and introduce this musical talent. Oh my god.
Oh man. And that was another thing too. I mean, Megami was in this episode, and I like that part too, just for the continuity of the story. That when they have this party where everybody's at, you have Sanosuke with his friends who were also friends with the guy who died of opium, which was a direct result of Megami, being the person making, well, not making it. That's not the word I'm using for. I get the brains behind it. Let's just say that.
Right.
And she wanted to show her atonement, and she apologized for that whole situation, which I liked. That
was nice.
Yeah, they've done their due diligence, not just to, because she had her whole arc, but they keep adding on and piling on to her past and how it affected different people. And it was just like good continuity for the story, because they haven't met since that moment. So having a party be the convenient way to get them to meet and her to apologize and still have that thing in her memory that, yeah, that's what I did to them in the past. I'm sorry for what I did. I thought that was really good for her character, even though that wasn't like necessarily the focus.
Yeah, that was a nice little touch. Hello, Rising Sun.
What is good, Rising?
And hopefully everything's going well with you.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But say. Yeah, I feel like that was pretty much it with this particular episode. It's pretty much a setup for what the next episode is going to be, and I'm looking forward to see what happens, where the loyalties are going to be drawn, and all that. I guess if I was to add anything, okay, yeah, this was something that I noticed. Who's that? Maybe you have it written down. Maybe I can find out. The blind waitress. No.
Tae.
No, but who's the little girl?
Oh, she's where is she at? Tsubame,
right there. That's what I was looking for. Is she just a shy person, or does she look like that she kind of has feelings for Sanosuke?
Sanosuke?
Yeah.
Wait, are we talking about the same character?
Yeah. Like, whenever he was talking to her, she kind of was like all shy and seemed like she was kind of hiding her face. And I don't know if that's just because she's just shy in general, or if she likes, because he's always there. And the waitress even made mention to that, to say that he never pays his bill, but he has a tab. And I'm thinking,
okay, yeah.
Are they trying to go with that?
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're talking about now, but I think it's more so of a shy thing. It just her, whenever she gets like a little bit of spotlight, she kind of, blushes profusely or like hides under the pressure. I definitely think it's more so on her being more of a timid character than her having feelings for Sanosuke. Just because
I hope so.
Yeah, just because I definitely see them going in a direction of her and my newly found son Yahiko. So I can't really see them doing anything with her and Sanosuke. If anything, I've said this before, if they were to have a romantic interest for Sanosuke, not saying that they will get together, but it definitely, in my opinion, will be teased, and that's Sanosuke and Megami.
Yeah, I could see that. It would be, those are the only two available that I see, but I don't know. I don't see it, but maybe they'll get drunk one night and just have at it. And they'll just be like, well, that was fun. You want to go steady? Okay.
Stay away from my wife, Sanosuke. Please.
You have a wife and a son in this show. It's crazy.
Yeah. And they're not they're not related.
No, they're not. But Rising, come to Arizona. There's no daylight savings time here.
Hey.
Everything's normal.
Hey.
Well.
Well, that's pretty much it. But this is supposed to be our Killer Pass segment. I don't think C-Tactus is here now for him to give us our answer. But I don't think we would have killed these episodes anyways, to be honest.
No, I don't think I would have. I've been enjoying Rurouni Kenshin. First time viewer, never seen any kind of Rurouni, so I'm enjoying the series, and it's been a fun ride so far.
Oro?
Oro? The way he talks, he does.
I feel like he's been doing that less. That whole Yoda speech thing that he usually does. I don't know. Maybe I've gotten used to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it. I notice he almost does it every time.
Damn. Okay. Well, there you go. But yeah, that is it for Rurouni Kenshin. It is time to talk about a juggernaut of an anime.
Oh.
Yeah, absolute juggernaut.
Jujutsu, Kaisen.
Yeah. What everybody may have been waiting for. EA, you have the floor since I have already read all these moments.
Well, this was perfect because both episodes kind of like fit. It was part 1 and part 2. Fluctuations part 1, part 2. I don't know if there's going to be a part 3. But this is Mappa's baby. We've been saying this for a while now. They are just going ham with the animation, and I look forward to every episode where we just see the insanity that is the action. Like, I feel like JJK, the anime, is definitely helping the manga. It's like not to say the manga was bad, it's just the art from what you showed me looks the way that it does, which is fine. But then when you see the anime, you're like, whoa, it's like, I don't know.
Definitely an improvement. Definitely. Without a doubt.
Right. It's like you put two cars right next to each other. You got a regular Toyota Corolla, nothing wrong with it. It's just a car. And then you have a fucking Ferrari with all the bells and whistles. It's just, it is fantastic. But I guess let's start with the first part where we get Mei getting out of that coffin with, what's his name? Ui, or I always forget his fucking name.
Ui. You got it right. You got it right.
Ui. By pulling a kill by saying, "Will you kill yourself for me?" Okay. But
he didn't actually die that time, though.
No. He didn't cut his own head off like that one character. But he was willing to take one for the team, and she got rid of paper rock scissors demon.
Wait a minute. The fact that you brought that up, you know that there's only one letter away from their names, right? Her name is Nui.
Is it really?
Yeah, Nui.
Nui and Mei.
No, Nui and Ui.
Oh.
So it's only the N that's missing.
I'm just bad with names in general, but I remember her for her look. Like, she's the girl with the patch on her eye that is a heart, and then the everything. Yeah,
Pink,
just
blondie.
Yep. Talks in a very just. I'm gonna kill you now. I killed your father. But anyway, great anime. Let's talk about another great anime. She kind of does her thing, and now she's gonna be taking on Pseudo Ghetto. So I'm like, okay.
What do you think is going to be the result of that fight?
Well, based off of what happened later in the episode, where we see Mini Cthulhu freaking fighting everybody, I was like, damn, this it's just a some kind of like spirit. And even Nanami was having a hard time fighting it. So if he's having a hard time fighting that, and Pseudo Ghetto is like, no pun intended, the brains of the operation, I feel like Mei's not going to do too well.
Well, let me ask you this question. How strong do you think Mei is in comparison to, because nobody's going to compare to Gojo, we know that. But how strong do you think she is in comparison to like the other like mentor figures that we see? That being like Utahime, Nanami, who's another character that we have like that? That one teacher with the glasses. How strong do you think Mei is in comparison to them?
I wouldn't know what level she is, but she seems like so far she hasn't really broken a sweat. You know, like she's gotten herself into trouble, but she didn't panic and freak out, and she kind of got out of it fairly easily. And maybe if she didn't have her brother, maybe she would have had to have tried a little more, but I don't think she would have died, even with or without her brother. I'd say she's pretty strong. Maybe stronger than Nanami.
Okay.
I would say that because, like I said, if Nanami's struggling against Mini Cthulhu like this, I feel like Mei is stronger than him. Excuse me. But
what about Naoi Bito? Old man, Maki's great uncle. What about him?
the one that was drinking?
Yeah.
Well, he lost an arm, and I feel like he got pretty charred in the other episode.
I mean, he got a little,
He has a cool power though, where he could kind of like stop time a little bit and just move ahead and just get behind someone and do like that's a cool fight. Didn't do very well against Firehead though.
I'm so glad you said that was his power, EA, just because the way it's always I feel this so much with JJK. The way things are explained can be explained so much easier, but they just aren't. I understand they want to go with this theme of animation because he's talking about animation and how he can go into frames basically, and basically that allows him to see a path in which a character is going to take. But when you really think about it, it's kind of just a little bit like time manipulation.
It's pretty much what it is. Like, I mean, I love the fact that he was describing it like a freaking cell in animation and all that. I'm like, yeah, I'm a fan of animation. I know what he's talking about, but I agree. They could have very easily just said he stops time for a little bit, Zaweldo, and then he just like moves around for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just it actually may be an easier explanation just since you're dealing with anime fans. Maybe if this was a different medium, it would probably be a little jarring, but
right,
it worked, so I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but yeah, the whole fighting stuff was cool. We even got Maki doing her thing with her. What the fuck are these? They're like kendo sticks, but with it's not like nunchucks. It's like in 3 different pieces, and she like kind of fights with it, and it's like a collapsible staff or whatever. But whatever that weapon is, she's doing her thing with that. Yeah, Megumin comes in at the end. and basically they try to pull a retreat thing, and then all of a sudden, look who comes in at the end. Toji just comes up going.
A deadbeat.
Deadbeat just comes up through the ground.
That's how a deadbeat shows up whenever he finds out his son is going to the league. Hey, son! Well, you find out your son gets the first draft pick in the NBA. Son!
That's kind of what he was like. He was just like, "You're a millionaire. I'm your daddy.
Give me a hug. What's up?" Oh my god!
I love how you have in the notes too. Toji plays whack a deadbeat dad. That is hilarious because that's kind of what it was like. But dude, when he came through, I didn't know what he was going to be doing. But essentially, what he did was like, "Hey, Maki, let me borrow this for a second," and then just owned the living shit out of Mini Cthulhu. Just absolutely destroyed him.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just amazing just to see. Like, so from what I understand, it's Toji, but it's not really him. I mean, obviously, because he's dead, but he took over that one guy's body, and now he's just kind of like a mindless vacuum, so to speak, and he just goes for the strongest person and then fights them.
I mean, you could basically say it's Toji. You just say it's Toji basically on a time limit.
Pretty much. But who knows when that time limit's going to break, because it seems he was supposed to be on a time limit before, like when that guy went ahead and took it, but then didn't the narrator say like that person that was once there is now gone, and Toji took over that body?
Yeah, due to him not being a cursed user, because normally a technique like this would expend cursed energy, and them dying would affect them and maybe like change up the time, because we've seen techniques, or we know that techniques can still work after death, but because he's not a cursed user, he is expending no energy, so he's essentially like this android almost, just moving about.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. Just how, Mini Cthulhu was just like, not gonna pay attention to this guy. He's not a cursed user. Then he just comes at him with all these guys, just like,
yeah,
just beats the living shit out of him and just doesn't even stop. Like, I think that was the thing that was the craziest about it. And he even takes those sticks and just sharpens them. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm ready to kill him, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good, and that's a pretty good description, Duke Crevice Storm. Toji became Anno's Voldigold for all those people that watch Demon Misfit. I know what you're talking about.
But what is good, Vash?
That was great.
Vash in the chat said, "Glad to see we're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen, aka the greatest shonen of this time." Who you lying for? Sukuna the GOAT.
Oh, we're getting there. I have some words to express his scene.
we gotta wait a little to talk about Sukuna. Told you he's going to cash in on a Megami stocks. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Are you a deadbeat too, Vash? Are you waiting to cash?
Son!
Do you have a son that you're waiting to cash in on whenever he decides to be successful? What's going on? The nunchuck weapon actually belongs to Toji. Yes, it's called.
Oh, really?
It's called. I wrote it in the notes. It's called Heavenly Cloud, right? Heavenly Cloud, or
Playful Cloud.
Playful Cloud. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking of Playful Cloud.
I didn't know that's what it's called.
Geto picked it up after being defeated by Toji. Geto used them in a movie. Then Gojo took them after, where then the Gojo family gives them to Maki. Yeah, Playful Cloud. That's what it is.
That's why he went and got them, because essentially they're his.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you remember the fight with Hanami, was it Megami who passed it? No. Megami was using it, Maki was using it, and then it was passed to Toji. Basically. Or they left it for Toji to pick up. So damn near 1, 2, 3, or five, like
Oh
five
my
or six
God.
characters use this thing. So yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. There's a lot of people that have used Playful Cloud. He plays with everybody. He's a slut.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Slutty
it kind
Cloud.
of this kind of also shows how freaking powerful Toji really was. I mean, the fact that, well, we knew that in the prequel arc where he just destroyed Gojo, but then Gojo just kind of, well, Gojo's Gojo, and he just killed him with one shot, blew his arm off and everything else. But just to see Toji in his prime, so to speak, stronger than all those other people, like put together. He's just like owning this guy that was pretty much owning all of them. So I was like, okay, yeah, Toji's pretty strong.
Yeah. I mean, even though that was Gojo when he was a teenager, Gojo as a teenager is still murking most or all of this cast, honestly. So
Yeah, pretty much. That did break down that Veil Void domain expansion. They got freed from that once Toji killed Mini Cthulhu, but then he wanted he wanted quality time with his son. He said, "Let's meet outside, son," and he just, now they're gonna hug it out. They're gonna hug it out.
I mean, what is your expectations with that meeting? Because out of everybody, like let's think about this for a second. We have Toji who's going after the strongest people that he can find.
Right. And
do you think he's going after Megami because he believes he's the strongest, or because of his connection to him as father and son?
Yes, absolutely. I don't think it has anything to do with strength. I think it has to do with that's his son. He could have grabbed any weapon. He could have even fought Cthulhu with his bare hands, but he grabbed his weapon. So it's definitely a connection sort of thing. I think he got him because he feels that bond. I don't know if he's going... Well, he's probably going to fight him. I feel like I called this early on when I said now that Toji, that guy that, went ahead and took that serum and took over as Toji, I'm like, he's going to fight Megami at some point. And sure enough, here we are. So, I don't know. I don't think it's because he's the strongest. I really think it's because there's that connection. Because if he wanted to go for the strongest, he should have stayed for Volcano Head, because he was literally right there, and God, he just burned everybody. The old man, he got full frontal, and so did Nanami. He got in the face. Maki just got the back, though. So, I mean...
Well, and that's another thing, too. Even in what Jogo was doing...
Jogo, that's his name.
Yeah, there was varying... You could tell there was varying severity of his attacks with everybody. Nanami's was pretty bad. Maki's didn't look bad at all. Just from how like the attack looked. Didn't look bad at all. Because we didn't really see the aftermath of the damage, with the exception of Naobito, which he got it the worst.
Yeah, he got right on the face, and then just... I'm pretty sure he's dead. I mean, the guy has an arm missing, and now he's burnt to a crisp. Not that I knew him to begin with, so it's not like an emotional kind of death, but it's like, damn, somebody died. And then some other people died, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, when it comes to just that, like, I'm like, damn, he just spent no expense. He didn't waste no time. He just went boom, boom, boom. Well, he's like, that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. All right, now let's go to weather and sports. No, I'm kidding. Let's go to freaking Itadori.
Joko did all of that and then proceeded to fight some like random high schoolers.
Yeah, and they survived with their phones. I mean, I've always heard that you can't separate a teenager from their phone, but that's ridiculous.
World Star, got you.
That was pretty much it. It's like, Get behind me, World Star!
Save me, TikTok!
Let's put him on the internet and get him canceled.
That is kind of funny though, that like curses which have existed, I'm sure since like, you know, people had like clothes on their body. It has existed for so long that, you know, the techniques have upgraded with technology to the point that people can use it in conjunction with their cell phones.
Yeah.
Because to me, it was funny when I don't want to talk about Sukuna. We're still not talking about him like it. But it was funny to me when Sukuna looks at their phone and is like, oh, they do this with the photos. I'm like, how do you know what a photo is? You've been dead for how long?
I mean, he's a part of Itadori, so I mean, maybe he's learned.
He's like,
since
this is how. Selfie.
What would be so fucked up is if he like took that same phone and like grabbed the headless corpse and was like, selfie.
Jesus Christ. That sounds like some Mortal Kombat shit.
It does.
Speaking of which,
like a finisher.
Did you see the finisher for what's the recent character? Homelander. Fuck. Omni-Man.
Ooh, Omni-Man. Yeah, it's from the show where he. Well, I saw one of them. I don't know if he's probably got more. Where he just takes the person in front of a subway and then just that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
One thing you could bank on with Mortal Kombat it is gruesome.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like that's the game that gave us ratings for video games, and when you look at the violence from the 90s game, that's child's play compared to the shit that is in that game now. Like the first time I saw like a fatality in like beautiful 4K, I was like, this is so disgusting and gross. I love it.
I think the one that remained vivid in my memory, I think it was Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, where Sub-Zero like goes into your back, digs and takes like literally rips the skeleton off out of your body and just holds it up like it's a trophy, like he's holding up.
Yeah.
Like a Stanley Cup. He's just holding up the Stanley Cup. Just.
I remember playing an arcade game. It was when they made the jump to like 3D. You know, when they were 2D sprites, it was whatever. But then they did the 3D. Mm-hmm. Whenever you like died and it had the continue thing, you were literally falling down a chasm as it was counting down, and then when it got to 0, it was just a bed of spikes, and then you just hit the ground and the spikes killed you. That stuck with me just because it was scary. You know, you're just like, I need a quarter,
go.
And then you thought you got it in time, and then you die. Oh yeah, that was horrible.
That Scorpion, I promise you. No, Sub-Zero does have a fatality just like it. I promise you, Sub-Zero has a fatality just like that.
I mean, they're pretty much similar. They're Sub-Zero and Scorpion are kind of like bitter rivals. So, anyway,
yeah.
But speaking of Sukuna, dude. So I guess the girls' plans were to, because they had a finger of Sukuna's and they put it in them. That sounds rad. They fed it to Itadori. And they were trying to get it to where it woken up Sukuna to have them essentially kill Pseudo-Geto. And I'm like, okay, I understand their involvement now, that why they're doing what they're doing. I understand. But then when Jogo is like, I got 10 fingers, let's just shove them all in his mouth. I'm like, they're basically rushing to the end of the story. Because now there's only 5 left. So I'm like, damn, that was quick. 10.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if the number of fingers are even relevant anymore. To be quite honest.
I mean, maybe not, but I felt like at the beginning it was. But according, I don't know. But then they woken up Sukuna. Essentially, this is almost kind of like a Hail Mary, so to speak, where they really need his help. And oh my god, when they awoken Sukuna in the way that he essentially just his overall presence, I feel like I really like Sukuna as a villain. Like, he reeks of just he's everything you want in a villain. He's intimidating, he's unforgiving. And what made me really like him was in the first season how this isn't one of those things where he needs to fight if he doesn't have to. I think that's what really set him apart from other villains, just because of the fact that how many animes have we seen where if they take some magic thing or they do some transformation and then they get that extra boost of power, you name it, it doesn't have to be like a super villain inside, but it could be Super Saiyan, turn into a Hollow Bleach, whatever. But in this, I thought it was going to be like that, and Sukuna's just like, no, you can go ahead and die, and I'll live. And I loved him after that. But then when you see him and just how he's telling everybody to bow, and he does that fucking chop thing, cuts the top of the guy's head off, or at least the top of his volcano anyway, I'm just like, ooh, like, I don't know. Like, the whole time I was invested whenever he was on screen. Like, I was literally, it's like Heath Ledger as the Joker in The Dark Knight. You can't take your eyes off him. I was like mesmerized.
Before I go on my, as the kids will say, dick eating triatab about Sukuna, I want to read a little bit of the chat that I missed. Decrepit Storm says, Sasuke, how are you going to criticize fathers when you forgot your son existed? Listen, I didn't forget. He just didn't become my son. He wasn't my son anymore when he grew up that fast. He just, I don't know. He became like a roommate or something. That's an interesting fact. It made the Zenin clan mad knowing it's in Maki's hands, the way he threw Mega Bean. Jogo is a menace, but you can understand why he did it. And Jogo is a weird character because we kept seeing him take L's and L's and L's, but he's actually strong. So it was satisfying in some light to see him just get an equal footed battle and show how strong he really is.
Yeah, that kind of shows you how powerful Gojo is whenever he was fighting him, because to be real quick, just to be honest, because when I saw that too, I was like, oh, he's actually a lot more stronger than he's led to believe, because the whole time I thought he was just like the butt of everybody's joke. I'm just a head, just getting kicked around. But yeah, he's not somebody to take lightly
at all. But Blood Loss and Burns put the guy from Odd Taxi with the gotcha addiction into JJK.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah. The Scorpion Sub-Zero freezes. I mostly remember Scorpion doing it, but I look for it. Jogo pulled off a buffet of fingers. Yeah, he just it's like I got every finger you want. I got the I'm not gonna make that show. I'm not gonna make that show.
Here's the finger from the third arc, the fourth arc, the fifth arc. All the arcs were combined into just one scene.
Yeah. I was about to make a super inappropriate joke, but I'll leave that in my head. Okay, Sub-Zero did do that. Sukuna is great. So, okay. Sukuna has been my favorite character since season 1. And a lot of the things that you said are the reasons why I like him. What strikes me about Sukuna is just presence. There are some characters and presence isn't something, it's kind of just like aura, like the kids say, aura. It's not something that's easily explainable as to like you could pick apart certain things as to why it works for that character. Some characters just have that about it. It could be just like the shading of how they show up on screen, the music being played, whatever it may be. When Sukuna shows up, the presence that he oozes is that of a king. And what I like about it is that even when he was underpowered, in the case of where we saw the fight with Yuji, Nanami, and Mahito, where he was underpowered in that moment, Mahito knew that, like, in terms of like curse energy, he was stronger than Sukuna. But even he felt like it was something different about him. He just went, wait a minute. he was like, oh, wait a minute. Because Sukuna just sitting in the chair like, if you touch my soul one more time, I'm gonna show you something.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was it. And the minute he said that, Mahito was like, oh shit, well, now I have to figure out a way how to beat Yuji and Nanami without touching Mr. Sukuna, sir. And this is, again, in a moment where Sukuna isn't as powerful in terms of curse energy to Mahito. That shows you the dominance that he would have in his fully awakened, full power state. But again, that's just something presence that's always been consistent with Sukuna. He doesn't really show you any gaps in his armor in terms of like his power level or anything it may be. He exudes strength, and he'll show you strength whenever he needs to. It's as simple as that. And that's what you want in a villain. What I always liked about him was that he was this X factor that could at any moment steal the entirety of the show at any moment from anybody.
It's so true. It really is. Like, they picked the best voice actor to play him. Like, he's got that bravado in that voice too, that when it carries, you better kneel. You better get on all fours and beg for your life, because this may be your last time. And I knew those girls were dead. The second they asked for him to kill Ghetto for them, I'm just, and if you do that, we'll give you another finger. I'm like, these girls are dead. These girls are so dead. And he told them to rise just so that he could show the other one killing the other one in their presence. I'm like, that is fucked. But that's who he is. Mm-hmm. And that's what he said. He was just like, you dare, force me to do your bidding. And then the other girl's freaking out because obviously she's dead. And I forgot what he said, but he's essentially just like, yeah, you're annoying. And then she tries to do something with her phone, and he turns her into fucking Swiss cheese. Literal cubes of fucking flesh. Just poor thing. And like you said, with the phone, it's like, huh. Do something with this spirit, whatever. It just crushes it. Didn't even think twice about it. But the thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say very quickly, I think the way he dismisses their bargaining of a finger shows how arrogant he is with his power level. Because think about it. At this point in time, he has like 15 fingers in his body, I think.
Yeah.
So 15. I think the reason why Sukuna reacted that way was because he's thinking in his mind, I'm at what, like 75% strength? Why the hell would I argue with you for 5% of my strength? Do you know how strong I am now? I think that was his mindset. I think that's the reason why he reacted the way. Like, he was like, what? Like, you're acting as if I'm desperate for power. Me at 5% is still way stronger than you. So why are you acting as if I had to follow your bidding when, first and foremost, I can find this myself. And second of all, you're still in no position to bargain with me because I don't need this power at this point in time because I could still get by. I think that's the whole thing about it.
Yeah.
Supreme arrogance. Gojo has it, Sukuna has it.
Yeah, they're almost kind of similar in a way when it comes to that. Both extremely powerful, one good, one evil. That's God, I'm so looking forward to the next episode because Sukuna is essentially giving Jogo a chance to live. And what a twisted way to do it. He's essentially saying, if you can land one hit on me, I'll join your team. And first of all, even if he did land a hit, I don't think he does. I think this dude's dead no matter what.
You think Sukuna wouldn't keep his word?
It's a good question because he did say that. I do remember that. Okay. I think he does keep his word, but I just think Sukuna's so powerful that he won't land a blow on him. And he'll show. Essentially, what we get is how powerful Sukuna is now at 75%, so to speak. So it's going to be interesting in the next episode. And I'm curious too, like, when's, Yuji going to come back? Because that was the whole gamble that they were doing, was if you basically force feed him a whole bunch of fingers, Sukuna will have control over the body for a longer period of time versus, just the one. So, yeah, man, this series just keeps getting better and better. And with the introduction of Sukuna, I was just like, okay, now what's going to happen? Is he going to start taking on some of these bad people? I don't know. Because that's the thing about him, too, is that he's such a dark horse. He could do whatever he wants. He doesn't even have to fight for the good people. He could kill the good people if he wants to.
The thing that he said he wanted to do, because it wasn't the fight with Jogo, he said he wanted to kill all humans on Shibuya other than one. That's what he said.
Probably meaning himself. Or Gojo. No, you're right. It's probably Gojo.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna. That would be a fucking twist. Hey, Yuji, you got knocked out, and Sukuna woke up, and everyone in Shibuya is dead. How's that make you feel?
Well, then that's another thing too. You got to think about, like, how would Yuji react to Sukuna killing a whole bunch of people in his body? Because to my knowledge, I don't think Sukuna's ever killed anybody in that body. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, not killed a person. I should say that, a person. Like, he's killed a demon in that body, or a curse, but that's it.
Oh, and I guess he has killed a person technically.
Who is it?
The two girls.
Well, yeah. Now he has. Yeah.
Yeah, now he has.
Yeah.
Who they essentially were overglorified ghetto fangirls anyway. That kind of, I don't know. I feel like that scene with them, because we had an after credit scene with them a couple episodes ago where it seemed like they were going to do something, and then they just kind of like died almost immediately. I almost felt like there was like no need for them, to be honest.
That is one of the things I don't like about Gege's writing, is that there are some plot points that lead to nowhere. I do think these high school girls just, there was no real purpose, because sure, they were the first ones that fed Yuji in the first place, but it's not as if they gave Jogo a different idea. This is something he already was planning to do, evident by him having 10 fingers on him. And with him having 10 fingers, I mean, he was the ultimately the one who awakened Sukuna, not the high school girls. So that their whole point in the story was kind of just, I guess, just to show how cruel Sukuna is when it boils down to it. It's no real point to them, honestly.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, it almost kind of made me annoyed in a way, because we see him in Zero. They're there. We see him now in the Shibuya arc. It's like, oh, they're planning something. What are they planning on doing? And yeah, they had a plan and they did it, but it immediately got negated by the fact that Jogo just fed 10. You could remove that whole scene with the girls and have Jogo do the same thing, and the exact same thing would have happened, except those two girls wouldn't have died. And I feel like it's just that, which is a waste.
It would have been better if they were the one that fed Yuji 10 fingers. Then, I
agree.
Then, like, I couldn't complain about them being in the story, because I'm like, okay. And then it would have actually made a little more sense, just because them awakening Sukuna after, like, Geto has, he turns to fake Geto, and them, like, looking for these fingers because there's like a year in time of that. That would have made more sense, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. I feel like that would have made much more sense. They were driven to do all this stuff and they did it. And then when they awoken Sukuna the way they did, then you can go ahead and do all this crazy shit that they're doing. But it just felt like it was just kind of shoved away when someone else did it instead. So that was one of my huge gripes of the episode. Other than that, it was a really good episode.
Yeah, I would have to agree. What is good, Shark the Plug? Big Jogo got heart, ran a fade. I can't see all of it because it's a hard thing.
With Gojo and now Sukuna.
Oh. Yeah, let me fight the two strongest characters in the series. Let's see how that turns out. There's no Hanami to save him this time, so I don't know. I mean, there's not even an octopus guy to save him anymore. So
yeah, he got turned into sushi.
Or Tokiyaki. Tokiyaki.
Ooh, takoyaki. Yeah, I want some.
Man.
That's some good. You ever had that?
I have not.
It's so good.
Really?
I had it at a festival. It's the Matsuri Festival out here. Happens in February. They make them right there on the street. It's like a Japanese festival they have out here. So I don't know how authentic it is, but it tastes good to me. Just like the real thing.
Sounds cool.
It's delicious.
Yeah. That is pretty much it for these 2 episodes. So, in that light, we are moving on to other ventures. That being Frieren. All right.
Frieren episodes 8 and 9. And can I just start off by saying Frieren is a boss? The episode prior to this, she was talking to that demon and said, well, the demon was like, oh, you think you're stronger than me? Because he was going to try to kill her and everything. She's like, no, I'm stronger than your boss. I'm stronger than Aura, the guillotine. And she kind of proved that, like, easily. She fucking, like, just ripped his head off or, like, blew his head off. I was just like, God, she is actually quite strong.
Yeah, I feel at some point you have to understand that there's some discrepancy between the person you think you fighting and the person you're actually fighting, because I mean you like okay, so Lugner talks about how demons focus excessively on one type of magic their whole entire lives. If I focused on something for my entire life for 200 plus years and somebody's able to counter that very easily, by the way, because I snuck them with it, they counter that very easily, I'm going to look at them differently. I don't know how he thought of Frieren the first time he went into that jail cell, but the minute she goes, yeah, I'm just going to use this ability to count or to make sure it doesn't, wrap around my neck, I'm going to go, I got the wrong chips.
That is when you say, I kind of like living. I'm sorry. I woke you up. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Let me shut this door. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, I think I left my oven. Yeah, I think I left water running.
Yeah, I was boiling something. I think it's ready now. Gonna cook some ramen.
Yeah. I mean, that was just he kind of walked into that one. So
literally.
And then he fucked up everything for everybody else, because that was like the domino falling, the big domino falling, and basically the facade of the demons being these peace envoys, that whole facade falling apart before their very eyes, because the main guy in all of this, Graf,
yeah,
he goes to them, sees the guards dead, doesn't know where the other guy is that died, that Frieren killed, Drott, He's like, "Oh, so where's your one guy?" They're like, they make their excuse. They're like, "Okay, why is that guard dead?" They make their excuse, and he's just thinking to himself, "Okay, Frieren gave herself up willingly. She's basically raised no problems to try to get executed. I don't think she did this. You guys are up to something." And that's when they showed their hands and killed all the guards and basically took him hostage. So fun times.
Yeah. They were so. I feel like villains have a problem with this. They're always so close to world domination, then somebody has to ruin it, and then they just go, "Okay, fuck it. We were this close, Draft, and you went ahead and had to kill the guard. Let's go ahead and just expose ourselves for who we are." And essentially that is what happens. I feel like it happens more times than not when it comes to villains.
Yeah. There has to be like this, I don't know. There has to be like this complaint things for villains specifically. Just be like some therapy type of session with villains where they're just like who's a villain I could think of? Let's see. What's something that we all watch? Like, let's say like Frieza or somebody. He's like,
"Okay,
introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Frieza. Hey, Frieza.
Hi, Frieza.
I was going to have all the Dragon Balls and get immortality until this monkey showed up."
Whoa. We don't use that.
No, he's actually a monkey. No, I don't know. He's actually a monkey. He has a tail and yeah.
Oh, okay. I was a little worried there for a second. We have people here.
Yeah. I'm a little racist, don't get me wrong, just like everybody else. But no, he's actually a monkey. I promise you. But yeah, all the villains come together and they just complain about how close they were to their goal until like some teenage 15-year-old with some spunky 15-year-old decided to have a dream and thwart their plans. That needs to be a show in of itself.
I agree. I feel like someone could make that skit or make that show and it's just be like, "Let me guess. You were this close to world domination and then, yep, they went through the door. Use the magic ring. I was this close. Like, I was literally this close to killing everybody. And they ruined it."
Like Yagami, basically.
Oh my god, yes. That would be a good one. It's like, so I was literally god of Earth for a short time, and then someone found me out.
I just need to see all those guys have like some Reddit, like, and see them complain about subreddit. They're gonna be like, "Is it okay for you to be 15 years old and to catch up to a villain who's been training their whole life? Is it okay? Just because you're the main character?"
Oh man.
Oh man. So somebody Mappa, somebody in Mappa. I know you guys are working on something. Work harder. Make it happen.
Work even harder and make what we suggested.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we had freaking I feel like after that Frieren just makes a bolt right to so in my mind, I feel like the last episode or podcast we said when it came to Aura the guillotine, what she looked like, she's a goddamn lolly. Because of course she's a goddamn lolly.
I was disappointed. I was led astray.
Me too. I was like, because you and I, we were thinking, we was like, oh, she's probably got big boobs. She's, she's strong but sexy. She's a goddamn lolly with purple hair. God. Yeah. Oh no! And now Frieren is going to essentially be fighting her by herself with her floating staff. She's literally a demon slayer. she's Doom guy from Doom, Demon Slayer. But yeah, it's crazy that just yeah.
I mean, she had so many cool moments. My favorite
She really
moment was
did.
at the very end of episode 8 where Fern has her sneak attack on Lugner,
Hmm.
and then he goes, "What is that ability that you just used on me? That's not the ability. That's not just normal attack. You know, that's not that normal attack magic that people typically use. That's something specifically for demons. Who did you learn that from?" And then he's seeing how she's floating in the air, and he's like, "That's reminding me of something. Who is it? Who is it?" He has a brain blast, and it's Frieren, and oh man, it just I said it before, like with the Stark episode where he fought the dragon, but the presentation just that moment was very great in my opinion, where you see Fern, you know, stanced up, floating in the air, and then it does like that fade out effect to where you see
Yeah.
Frieren in that same position, and then that's
Mhm.
when they do the title card of what the episode is, which is I think
Was it Demon
Frieren
Slayer?
the Slayer, I think.
Oh, right. Frieren the Slayer. Yep, that's what it was. And it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
perfect name for what she was.
It definitely, because I watched these episodes. I didn't watch it when it aired. I watched these episodes back to back. For me, it was a better experience because it got me hyped for the very next episode, and I was able to watch it immediately. I was like, "Oh, that's so fucking cool!" Because he talks about even before that how she slayed the most demons in history, which makes sense because she's an elf who's lived.
She's racist.
Yeah, she's racist. She's racist.
She's a racist elf.
But yeah, she's had hundreds of years to you know, keep up her racist violence. So that's the reason why she killed the most demons in history. And it got me hyped for episode 9. So yeah, that whole thing was good. I mean, there was other things that happened in the episode. Mainly just with Stark and Fern being a team. I really like the moments where Stark was scared to go up against competition, but
Yeah.
overcame it.
Handshaking.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that stays a constant with his character. Not saying I want him to be scared after every single or before every battle, but
Please don't turn into Zenitsu.
oh no. I seen him.
Please no.
I seen him being compared to Zenitsu before, and I'm just like,
How?
I don't see how y'all draw that comparison because fundamentally they're very different characters. With
Yeah.
Zenitsu, the whole thing of him sleeping kind of exalts him from the character growth that comes from overcoming your fears. Zenitsu doesn't
Mhm.
have that same thing that Stark has, which is crazy because I mean, I've only been with Stark for what 3-4 episodes, but yeah, in my opinion, he's a way better character than Zenitsu. I would not compare him to Zenitsu.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And yeah, Zenitsu has to do something really spectacular for me to give a shit about him. But I don't care for him.
Yeah. But yeah, they had their disagreements. That is Stark and Fern about whether to free Frieren because Stark's just like, oh yeah, we kind of want to free her so that she can fight against Lugner and the other pink-haired one.
Oh yeah, some other lolly. The ones. What's the character trope where they don't show any emotions and they just talk very monotone the whole time?
You may be thinking of Kudere?
I think that's what she is. She's a Kudere demon.
Her name is Linie.
Oh, okay. But yeah, she's like, oh bother, I have to kill this Stark guy.
I didn't think that was
Yeah.
going to be the matchup. I thought Stark was going to be the one that was ultimately going to fight Lugner because of that initial interaction they had, but I'm satisfied with what we got. You know, this is kind of jumping to episode 9. Those battles are just great. Not only just great with the animation, just with the explanation behind how they were defeated. Because with Lugner, they made it very clear that he is more experienced than her, stronger than her, more well versed in magic. But because Fern was able to just spam her attacks, boom, 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 and that's something that, you know, we've never seen. Frieren doesn't even have that ability. Because she was able to spam her attacks, there's nothing he could do. He was just being completely overwhelmed. You know, it was a very gimmicky type of thing, and I like that she won in that way, because I would have hated if they just matched her up with him, you know, mano y mano, and she's just able to beat him by overpowering him. Right. Same thing with Stark and
Lenny or whatever.
Linnea, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool too. How the whole get up, you know, you if you're able to get up, that means you haven't lost, which is kind of true. At the same time, there's those people that maybe need to learn to stay down. There are those ones that are like that.
Yeah,
I can still fight.
You may
your ass over.
You may not want to follow that philosophy totally in boxing or something like that, because there's the whole thing of, you know, just saving yourself for another battle.
Right. Brain damage for all the hits that you take. It's like, I'm gonna fight for your right to. Okay, he's out. Let's call it. Fucking call it.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a death match, so it was either that he stood on all 10 and, you know, fought, or he just died right then and there. So that was a battle of will, and just
he took an axe to the rib.
It's just something the way about how that whole thing happened. He took the attack full brunt and just talk shit before. That's the thing about it. Talk shit before he did it and said, not as strong as my master. Oh my God. I love Stark. Stark is my favorite character. Like, without a doubt, Stark is my favorite character.
He's pretty Stark. Good. Yeah. I honestly didn't know what to think of him. I honestly thought he was going to be another coward character, but I think the whole reason behind his character is to show how human he is. Like, I don't think anybody is invincible and is not afraid of dying when they fight, because I feel like there are people that have certain levels of that fear, and some people know how to suppress it more than others. And Stark's still young enough to where he's afraid, and he shows it, but I think overall he can show that he's pretty strong too and can overcome it.
I mean, pretty much talk to any war veteran around and they'll kind of tell you, like, because there's this discrepancy but between how the media may portray it and whatever it may be, with like glorifying and romanticizing like this warrior mentality or soldier mentality to where you're fearless in every battle. But you talk to people who've actually been in it, they're terrified. They're terrified of dying. So I like that realism when it comes to him being a warrior, in the sense that he's also terrified of dying. Yeah, Vinland Saga does it pretty well.
It's that's like the perfect series when it comes to that. This is what a warrior is.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is what a warrior is.
Yeah. It shows you the difference between the romanticized version of, and I think that's what season 1 was a lot of, this idea of what a warrior is versus what a warrior truly is in Thorfinn.
Yeah. And that's just a great series altogether. Bring on season 3.
Yeah, definitely on it. But the other main component within episode 9 was the whole Aura versus Frieren battle, in which we learn more about Aura's magic ability, scale of obedience, which cut it short, mind control, basically, bending someone's will to her whims, with the stipulation that a strong will can resist it for some period of time. But she was able to do something against them. Seemingly, they didn't go further past that, but I'm guessing that she mutilated their bodies so they couldn't resist anymore.
Yeah,
because all
it's
the
like
heads are taken off of all those bodies. So
right, it's like she nullified the curse somehow by doing something. Yeah, that's all she's been doing, really. She's just kind of like, what I thought was really neat was the fact that as Frieren's fighting, essentially the final boss of this arc, I didn't think Fern and Stark were going to defeat those other characters, and I'm glad they did, essentially, because it just shows how strong they are, how capable they are, and that Frieren doesn't have to do everything herself. And I like shows that do that.
And prove Frieren right too, because when Stark was going to her for help, because he was asking for help for Lugner, not help for Aura, because Aura wasn't even in the equation for him. So he was asking help for him. And Frieren was looking at them like, why do you need my help? Huh. She already saw the potential in those two. So I not only do I think that's just like a good character moment for her, like as a mentor to see the potential that they didn't see themselves. It's just it's good, like it's good storytelling in general too, because you're led to believe that they have no real chance against these guys because they're just too overwhelmingly strong, but they have something about them that could give them a fighting chance in their battles, which for Fern, it was her unbelievable casting speed, and for Stark, it was his resilience.
Yeah, that's what it was for both of them, and I'm glad they weren't just these weaklings just cast aside. I guess when you're over certain hundreds of years old, like Frieren, that's her way of saying, you don't need my help. I already know you guys are strong. So I don't know. She kind of has her way of things, so to speak. But I'm glad that it went the way that it did, because as much as I love me some Dragon Ball, everything always has to be up for Goku to defeat. You can't have Tien get a win. At least, not in Z. What? No one wins anything in Z except for Vegeta and Goku. And every once in a while, they throw a bone for Gohan. But other than that, it's always Goku. It's like everyone... I would have loved to have seen Tien at least, hell, maybe defeat Nappa. That would have been cool. But no. We always got to wait for Goku. But that's another thing entirely. But I think that's what I really like whenever I see shows. Not to say that it always has to be evenly balanced like that. Sometimes there could be this really strong character and that you need the strongest to fight. I'm fine with that. But just like every time, that's where it gets a little redundant for me.
Yeah. I mean, they saved her for the big dog, which is Aura in this situation. So that is the last battle that we're waiting for to see how that's going to conclude. And one more thing to talk about with that is even in this battle, it shows the growth of Frieren, which, because she already fought Aura before, and she fought these like hordes of enemies. And before, the contrast is before, Frieren was basically using her abilities willy-nilly, very flashily, and kind of just like systematically taking all her puppets down, probably in a way that desecrated their bodies, which she was criticized for by Himmel. We can see in present time she took those words to heart, which is basically I won't say the point of the show, but a reoccurring theme in the show is showing how much different Frieren is now than she was in the past in her party, where she was more aloof and distant and just cold as a person. So with that in mind, the reason why she probably won't go hard, because instead of just using what she used before, she dispels the magic, which according to Aura takes up more of her mana. Now, well, just to put a pin in that, the whole point of that basically is to show you that she doesn't want to like disrespect their body. She doesn't want to further, I guess, like humiliate them in a sense. But I think the way Frieren wins this battle, we know how Aura's ability works. It's a scale. She puts her soul on the scale. If she has more mana than the other person she puts on the scale, then that's how her obedience works. So she's able to basically make everybody bow down to her whims because she has way more aura than them. She didn't use her ability on Frieren to start the fight, which is very telling. So she may be scared that Frieren has more power than her. But because Frieren will probably keep using this dispelling magic throughout the fight, which in her eyes are going to drain her aura, she's probably going to, at some point, use her scales against Frieren. Which, to her dismay, she'll find out that Frieren has way more aura than she does. Way more. Because Frieren trains her magic every single day. She's finding new spells. She's training herself. So the scale at where she's at, because she already said she was stronger than Aura, but she's probably way stronger than Aura. Way stronger. She's nerfing herself within this fight.
Pretty much. I feel like that's where it's leading to as well, because I've noticed with some of these episodes, there's that, you expect something's going to be a certain way, then all of a sudden it's just completely the opposite. Kind of like, I can't remember which episode it was, but when they unfroze that one really huge demon or whatever, who was supposed to be this really powerful thing, Frieren basically said, we had years to perfect your magic, and now we could just one-shot you. So, like, I thought that was really deep, because I was like, that would be kind of realistic to the point to where, if that thing were to ever dethaw or whatever, or unfroze, they'd want to make sure to kill it. I've always thought in movies or shows where it's like, shouldn't we do something to protect ourselves if this thing comes back? Nah, fuck it. It won't come back. But I guess what I'm getting at is that you're right. I think she's probably has like this astronomical amount of power over her to where it's going to be like not even close. She's going to think, oh yeah, I'm going to take my scale and fight you. And then she's like, no, not even tapping half my power. And then she'll just like kill her with ease. So I could see that.
So yeah, if she ends up losing, because the scales dictate that whoever has the more mana is the one that gains the obedience over one another. So if she loses in a mana battle, or a mana capacity battle with Frieren is going to be able to control Aura, which
that's true.
I mean, she's already stated before, maybe she would have spared her, but because Aura already showed how villainous and malicious she is, probably going to make her kill herself or something of the sort. I don't know.
I can see that. She just takes her little pitchfork and goes, shink. No, I don't know. Does she have a pitchfork?
Does she? I don't know what all I seen is the scale.
Okay. Well, maybe she'll just hang herself with her scale or something. I don't know. Or maybe she'll have everybody that she has under that control turn on her and stomp her out or something. Just, all right, all these suits, all this army, crush me.
I know what I would have did if I was Frieren.
What would you do? Oh no.
Is this mic on?
Yes.
Watch every episode of Rent a Girlfriend for the rest of your life. Every single continuous loop.
Oh my god. She would die after the first episode. I can't take any more.
Chizuru, just say you. Kazuya, just say you. Why are you guys still not together?
This is the first episode and he's having a fantasy masturbation scene? Ah! I want to kill myself.
Don't get me with the manga. If I tell her to read the manga, it's over. They have a whole panel. I posted in the KOA chat. Oh, go ahead.
Was that a real panel?
Yeah.
That thing that you sent me?
Yeah. This is serious Satsuki. I took off my glasses. This is serious Satsuki. I thought that was a meme panel. I thought it was a meme because I seen it on Twitter. Or X.com. I seen it on that site and I thought it was a meme. I literally typed in Rent a Girlfriend, the latest chapter, whatever chapter it's on, 300 something, because it's in the 300s for whatever reason. I typed in the chapter. I literally skimmed the chapter to find that panel. And when I saw it was a real panel, I said, he lost his mind. He actually lost his mind. For anybody not knowing what I'm referring to, there's a panel in Rent a Girlfriend in which the mangaka has a
God. Are you up there? Why? That was a real fucking panel?
The manga, for anybody that doesn't read Rent a Girlfriend, please don't read Rent a Girlfriend. Please don't take this as a challenge or anything like that. Like, oh my God, these guys say it's so bad. Like the people do with Boku no Pico or Black Bible, whatever shows. Don't read it. Don't watch it either. He has a double spread of Chizuru. It's a clean double spread. It looks cool.
It's a
it looks
double
good.
Spread.
Yeah. It looks good. It looks cool. You know, Chizuru looks beautiful. Mwah. Yeah, we love Chizuru, at least how she looks. And we have one small dialogue bubble. And in that dialogue bubble, Chizuru, and mind you, with like how this is set up, normally when you have a setup like this, someone is supposed to say something impactful. Like, for example, if someone was doing like a manga on Black civil rights and they do a double spread of MLK, you'll have that panel, right? And then they'll say, I have a dream.
Yep.
Rent a Girlfriend's equivalent of this moment was Chizuru in that same light, being drawn well, looking beautiful. And in that dialogue bubble, it's not I have a dream, it's I'm on my period.
Oh my God. Just like when you posted that, I was literally just like taking it back. I was like, no. I mean, I know I've seen everything when it comes to that fucking show and that manga and the I don't like him, but I don't not like him and all that dumb shit. But when I saw that, I was like, what? The fuck? What's the context of it? Does there need to be context? I bet you there was just no spoken words whatsoever ever in that fucking chapter. And then you go to the very end, I'm on my period. Okay.
I feel like there's no the only time I've seen a series in which that context would be impactful was Berserk with Casca, but even in that moment, it was never brought up like that. It was kind of like this thing that happened. It was like, okay, well, yeah, Casca's a woman. Okay, cool. And it kind of went like that. But, you know, I can't give it a context for Rent a Girlfriend because I don't read it. Thank God.
Yeah.
But I think there's no context in which you could say that and everybody will be like, I felt something. He's just drawing at this point. QRW6, Decrepit Storm, anybody that's watching this that may think I'm lying, I am not. I would not lie about this. I am
I saw the
telling you
picture to believe it. Holy shit!
I don't know.
I don't either. Just please end the show. Please end the series. Please, 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 for the love of God.
Well,
I think we talked all about Frieren.
Yeah, that's all to say about that show. So, time to get into our last show of tonight, and obviously it is our thumbnail for today, and that is Spy Family, episodes 4 and 5, where we get focus from everybody's favorite adopted mom, stepmom, no, mutton, everybody's favorite MILF, Yor.
Yeah, we the newest episode, we're finally getting into some story. I've been waiting forward for this for a while, because not that the other episodes haven't been fun, I just feel as if they've just been very much the filler-ish style, even though I know you say it's not because they did that in the manga. But I don't know, I just kind of wanted the show to get on with it. Like, one spliced in between is fine. I felt like we got like 5 or 6 just all at once, and I was just kind of over it after the 6th one, which that was this episode 4, Pastry of Knowledge, which is essentially an Anya and kids episode, and the informant's great romance plan. Oh god, that's Frankie and his episode. Essentially that's what those 2 episodes were like. Oh, but it was kind of cool because Frankie and Yor were a dynamic that really aren't together all that much, and they were in that episode, so that was kind of cool. Like, I would say that was probably the highlight of it. And of course, Yor just being a badass like she always is.
So I have a hot take regarding Spy Family. Please don't throw up, everybody. Don't throw up when I say this.
Oh,
it's gonna be disgusting when I say it for everybody. I actually I don't even want to. No, I gotta do it.
Come on, get it out, man. Get it out. I know you've been drinking, but just don't actually get it out, but get the words out.
Just see the words come out. I actually don't hate the idea. I may be rather fond of the idea. In an alternate world, of Frankie X Yor.
Boo! You stink!
Wow, they hating you?
They throwing tomatoes at me. Oh.
Come back, Sasuke, come back. Oh no, we only have 3 people watching us. You drove them away. You drove them away.
Okay, let me look how to cancel Patreon. Not decrepit store too.
No.
Can I explain myself?
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Because I wasn't expecting that. Holy shit.
Oh, okay. This is my explanation for it. This is my explanation for it. It's not like I like. Okay. It's not like I want these 2 together to be together at the end of the series. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I could, if this was written in a different way, I could see a pathway for those 2 to be together, and it making more sense than Twilight and Yor, for the simple fact that Twilight, at this point in juncture, doesn't seem to be affectionate towards Yor. Like, there's no romantic feelings for Yor. it's all about the mission. Even with I feel like there is like this, maybe it may not be romantic feelings with Twilight, but there is at least like this clinging on to wanting to be a family that exists with that doesn't really exist with Twilight. And I feel like one of the issues with Frankie and him not, or not the issues, but the main thing that's constant with Frankie is just his loneliness. And is a person who doesn't have experience in love. So you take two people who haven't really been in a real relationship and you bring them together, fix Frankie's loneliness, fix your never having any romantic experience, and you have someone who with like Frankie who let's face it, he's a simp. So he would have a lot of patience with That's the reasons why I say in an alternate world I could see those two together. And just with being enamored with a lot of his inventions and stuff, I think in an alternate world it wouldn't be bad at all. At least in comparison to Twilight and in which they aren't really a couple. They're a family, but they aren't really a couple.
Yeah.
Decrepit.
He says it the best. I don't want them to be together, but I don't not want them to be together. Oh my god.
I'm sorry for those everybody got off the podcast from saying that. They just said, okay, yeah.
I know.
He had too much to drink.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of people subscribe to this channel. Half of those people are now gone. But that is an interesting theory, though. I honestly never would have pictured them. I just looked at it as a regular, wacky scene. Oh, here's and her super strength. Oh, here's Frankie and his awkward simping. That would be a very different show if they were together. That is a different show entirely for sure. It goes from being about spies and assassins. Well, she's still an assassin. But essentially what it turns into is, I can't believe I dated an assassin, or, the long title anime.
Yeah, basically.
Where she's the it girl. The main character is Frankie. And, he's just trying to woo her the whole time.
Yeah, and that's probably why I feel a little more, or that's why I feel the way I feel about this potential thing being the thing, is because I feel like he would put in the effort to romance her, whereas Twilight, not saying he doesn't put any effort into the relationship, but he puts in the effort for the sole reason of progressing the mission, whereas obviously due to the circumstance with Frankie just being lonely, he's going to put effort into actually trying to just make her happy. So that's why I say after seeing them interact, it came in my mind for a second. Not saying I want this to be an in-game ship. I'm not saying this is the ship I'm going to die and support. I'm pretty sure this may be like the first time anybody has even thought about this. But yeah, that's the reason why.
I think we're the only channel in the history of YouTube that has even mentioned them as a couple.
Yeah.
But I mean, all I'm gonna say is, if Spy Family ends with your marrying Frankie, I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you.
Listen, if they did that, I'm gonna just say I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for it. I just said it would be interesting, or like an alternative world. Yeah.
You put it out into the universe, though. That's the thing. The mangaka's watching this right now, going, "I never would have thought of that."
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah, please don't do that, Mr. and Mrs. Mangaka. Please don't do that. I was just kidding. Tee. I'm sorry.
But essentially, that was the first episode 4, where it was just 2 episodes into one, just little minis.
Yeah, it was pretty much nonsense. Just them playing old maid and the whole looking
Old
for a cat.
man.
And then
Yeah.
Frankie getting cucked.
Yep. But what we really are looking forward to is episode 5, where it's a freaking boat episode. Well, I guess it's an arc because, yeah, it's going to. I'm looking forward to it. It seems like it's gonna have some story. It's got Yor doing her thing. I just love, of course, Anya being the mind reader. She was able to get the winning prize, and now they get to go on that ship. I myself have never been on a cruise. I would love to be on a cruise. Yeah, me and my girlfriend's been talking about this for a while. We're probably going to do it sometime next year. But yeah, I want to do it so bad. Is going on a cruise like that? Tell me, since I know you've been on one.
I'm actually planning to go on another one next year.
Nice.
It's going to be around this time next year. Actually around December, Ooh. So, but is being on a cruise like that? I mean, being on a cruise is fun. You just most of the time you just eat, because you could go out there and get food anytime you want. So for me, oh my God, like I used to, of course, eat breakfast, and I was always with the family, so I eat breakfast with the family, blah blah blah. But whenever I was on my own, my brother was my running mate, so we would go up there, like go up to the upper decks and get our food where, like the cafeterias, all that. We used to go there like 3 o'clock in the morning, just go out there and just get ice cream, get cookies, whatever is left there, because they only have a few facilities open during certain times. But it was just all eating, walking around, eating. That's what it was for me.
So you're saying it's all about putting on weight when you go on a cruise? Oh
yeah, be prepared for that. I think I gained like 10 pounds. I was definitely a lot heavier.
No, but yeah, it just I've always heard about cruises. I've seen some that are like real exquisitely nice. They got rides on them. They got shows. Food is all inclusive except for drinks. You got to pay for those. Yeah, well, depending on which one you go. I mean, I'm sure there's some packages where it's included.
Don't tell anybody about this, EA. So,
okay. Yep, between you and me.
Yeah, just between you and me. Yeah. Nobody else is here. So, I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody's cousin that did something like this. Something like this. So it wasn't this that they actually did, but something like this. So, they filled a water bottle up, or maybe a couple of water bottles up, with something that wasn't water, and they put food coloring in it. And they basically took that on a ship, because whenever you're on a cruise, you can't bring your own alcohol. You can't bring your own stuff. I mean, actually you may be able to, but I think they charge you for it. So basically, it was like you put the clear stuff in there, you put food coloring in it, and they think it's something else. They think it. Actually, no. Okay, I said it was in a water bottle. Actually, it was in a mouthwash bottle. That's what it was.
My goodness! Wow. I'm gonna be drunk and be minty fresh.
I just thought about it because it was green. That's what it was. It was in a mouthwash bottle. That's what it was. But yeah,
I mean, that's one way to do it, I suppose. I mean, imagine the poor guy or gal that thinks it's mouthwash, and then they're like, "Oh man, what a long day." What the fuck?
immediately just burned to hell. Oh my god.
Oh, that's not refreshing at all.
Jesus Christ.
But No, I guess this episode overall, we got to see a little bit of her assassin life, who she gets calls from, a dude with extremely long hair.
What before you go further with that, there was two important things that actually happened in the last episode that I forgot about that kind of tie into this. Well, the one that's kind of separate from it is the fact that Anya was getting good grades on this ancient language.
Right.
So she was flunking on everything else, but she was doing good in that. That's kind of like a throwaway moment, like, okay, whatever. But that has to be important considering that we don't actually know Anya's origin. We just know that she was in this orphan for a period of time,
right.
But we don't actually know who her biological parents are, which I'm pretty sure that's going to be a plot point later on in the story. That's not even something that's in a manga. So I'm not speaking from experience, having already read something. It hasn't even happened in a manga yet. So that whole ancient text or language thing that Anya knows about, that's probably going to be brought up later.
Okay.
But there was also the moment where Frankie actually tells Twilight of the organization that Yor belongs to, which is the Garden. And he kind of just like takes this as like hearsay and he doesn't really believe in it. But that was our first like look at the organization as itself, because we never really focused on it. But that's about it for that episode. And then episode 5 is where we actually saw the guy, the shopkeeper.
Yeah. It's funny because Yor has the shopkeeper while Twilight has the handler.
Yep.
You know, and they're both unique in their own ways. And they're the handler with this extremely long sheep hair, and just, I guess he just gives her assignments, and this one doesn't involve killing. It's just protecting, escorting. It's an escort mission.
Well, does that mean that there's no killing involved, or that her objective doesn't end with killing?
I mean, I guess she would have to kill if she absolutely had to, is my guess. But I think, well, this is Spy Family. She's gonna have to kill somebody, I'm sure, at the very end or something. But yeah, she's getting friendly with whoever this person is. I guess just somebody. Well, I forget her damn name. Is it in this thing?
Oka? You talking about the wife?
Gretcher. Yep, that's it. Yeah. Gretcher, who has a kid that, I'm sorry, but that baby looks like a little person. I don't know what it is, but the baby just didn't look like a baby to me. I'm just like,
look what I wrote.
A little person.
Look what I wrote for the character names. Look at the end of the character names for Spy Family.
All right. A free baby. I swear it doesn't look like a baby at all. It looks like literally a freeloading person, just like, I'm hungry, Mom. Give me some damn food. Is
there any stamps left on the car, Mom?
That baby's gonna have a 5 o'clock shadow if you're not careful. You know, just
yeah. It's it's a young ass man.
Seriously, but that's the first thing I noticed, because you know how babies look like babies. That didn't look like a baby to me. That's why I was like, that has to be someone pretending to be. That's gonna be the twist in this fucking arc. I swear to God, it's gonna be that the baby is really like a midget, just like, all right, everybody get down. This is stick up.
The baby's actually Oka. Thank you for protecting me, yo.
They just switched brains or something. Now that would be crazy, but yeah, it's also going to be interesting too, because we see Yor is there, but also Lloyd and Anya But Lloyd's supposed to be there, not on a mission. He's on vacation because the handler told him, "You better fucking enjoy yourself. Just take a vacation, damn it." But this is Spy Family. He's not going to take just a vacation. He's going to do something. I mean, maybe at the beginning he's going to be all fine and dandy, and he's going to be going down some water slides, taking in a show, and sipping on some Mai Tais. But something's going to catch his eye, because there's bugs in that place. Not creatures, but little microphones. He's probably going to see a bug and be like, something's going on here. And then that's when it kicks into spy mode at that point. But yeah, I'm curious to see what happens. I'm curious to know who this mysterious guy that's listening on to these conversations, where you couldn't see his face, but he looked disheveled as hell. He's just like, I finally found her. I found Elka Gretcher and that damn little baby that's not a baby.
Yeah, that grown-ass man.
That's grown-ass man. Yeah. Yeah, it's shaping up to be a fun one. I can tell. I can tell.
This is probably my favorite arc in Spy Family.
Really?
It's something that the fandom has been clamoring for a lot of time, which was your focus, because it seemed as if things were biased towards Twilight, in that we got a lot of the spy stuff, but we didn't really get a lot of the assassin stuff, which, I mean, it's true. Even the few moments that we got of Yor being an assassin, it was kind of treated as like this subplot for something else, like the one time where she got shot in her ass. Like, yeah, we saw her be an assassin for like 5 seconds, and then she got shot in her ass, and that was the plot point. So in this instance, even though we're not seeing her be an assassin, she has focus on her character, and she's actually contemplating the necessity of her job completely, because for one, the reason why she started this business in the first place was because she wasn't really talented in anything else, and she needed to provide for her brother Yuri. So because that necessity no longer exists, because Yuri has his own thing going on, and now he wants to actually be the one to provide and protect Yor, the initial reason why for why she was an assassin in the first place ceased. Now it became a thing, as you can kind of see with how she talks to the shopkeeper. Yor believes that she's doing the right thing. She believes that she's taking out all these evildoers, basically, like she's being a hero, this underground hero with what she's doing. So that's really what keeps her motivated. But now she's having to balance that with her family life, and she's wondering if it's better to just be a wife of Twilight, a mother to Anya, and settle down, or whether or not she wants to continue this life of being an assassin. So it's interesting stuff from her. A lot of intro perception with her.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens. I don't think she stops being an assassin, but maybe she cuts off from, the gardener or whatever, the shopkeep. Not said the gardener, the shopkeep.
I mean, he is a gardener.
Yeah, but I don't think that's his title. But it's gonna be interesting to see what happens here. And I mean, if it's everyone's favorite, I feel like there's gonna be some good progression here. So yeah, I'm curious. And also, it's a cruise.
Hey,
everybody loves a cruise.
Yeah.
They drink, they have fun. As Decrepit Storm said, Anya said the ship is gonna sink.
I mean, for a person that can read minds like this omnipotent little girl, for her to say this shit is going to sink, I would be very scared.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sounds like something that you hear at the beginning of a horror movie, and then nope, everybody dismisses it, and it actually happens.
The crazy people in horror movies are always the ones that are right.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. It's like, no, I'm telling you, there's an alien on the roof. They're gonna kill us. They said they don't come in peace, and I think they're gonna shove things up our butts. Okay, yeah, whatever, Kevin. Just get in the corner. No, I'm serious. And then it happens, and everybody's surprised.
You have no idea how traumatized I was from, was it the first scene? Yeah, I think it was one of the first scenes in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Ooh.
And I know
You're
there's
talking
different.
about the original.
No, I'm not talking about the original. I'm talking about
The remake?
yeah, 2000,
The 2003?
Yeah, maybe 2003.
With the one with Jessica Biel?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
Like one of the scenes I remember from it was the girl getting into the car and talking about like, oh, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there.
Yep.
And you know, they still, you know, they're like, and then she just pulls out a gun and shoots herself in the mouth.
I remember that. And the camera angle was literally from her mouth, and then it pulled out, and you saw like the hole in her head, and then her head fly back.
That traumatized me.
That was pretty good. Like, I remember that scene, and also just the fact that smoke was coming from her mouth and everything. I'm like, that's what would happen. That's pretty authentically looking. But yeah, I remember that too. And you know, that one dude, he was supposed to be the sheriff. Oh, and the fact that he was like, oh, this corpse seems pretty wet. What have you boys been doing to this thing back here? I'm like, that is so disgusting. But yeah, that one was pretty, I mean, not the perfect remake, because I feel like Leatherface was kind of, I don't know, they did him weird when they had him get his arm chopped off at the end. That was random. Mm-hmm. But the original one, oh yeah, that's just a grindhouse classic. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to see what happens. It's Spy Family at its best, and the fun times are here to stay.
Oh yeah, for
what
sure.
Will happen? Nobody knows, except for you.
Wait a minute. What did Purple Stone say? Whatever happened to Momiji,
happened to that
baby. Words.
It's true though.
I think the baby was talking too. Like Yor said, I'm gonna do my best, and the baby said, like, do your best.
Yeah, do your best.
I was like, you know what the hell you're talking.
You're a fake ass baby. You are not real at all. You're an imposter.
Yeah, he's doing a fake baby talk. He's like, goo goo gaga.
Goo goo gaga. Me hungry.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess I could use some food. I mean, goo goo gaga.
We need a theory video.
Another theory video of that the baby in Spy Family is not really a baby, but a little person.
Is this really a baby? And then you just have like this zoomed in, like you circle the baby, like you have this little line, you circle the baby close, and then the baby just smiling like this. It's like this little smirk, like
yeah.
we need it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to happen, but I think that is it for Spy Family.
Yeah, that's about it.
What we have left is the thing that everyone's been waiting for. It's what everyone's been waiting for weeks. It's viewer
questions. Oh,
good stuff.
You want to start us off, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could trade off. You do the
Yeah,
first one.
we can go back and forth. That's cool. Is there a character you hated at first, but then grew to like/love? Kind of like Yamai from. Oh, gonna ignore that last part. But that is kind of a good question. Is there a character you hated at first, but then grew to like or love?
So this is the inverse of the question that we got last podcast.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Hated at first and then liked, loved later. I know there's definitely a character I experienced that for. Well, I may feel this way about Tomoko. I don't think I was a big fan of Tomoko when I first started Watamote.
Okay.
I don't think I no, because I can't say I hated her. I was just
maybe indifferent.
I was displeased with the things going around with her character at first. I can't say I hated her though. I don't know if anybody that fits that criteria, because usually I'm the type of person that's really dug in. So whenever I hate somebody, I hate them the entire way.
Same.
I feel like I could answer this question for you, EA, or at least maybe you don't like them, but maybe you change your mind on them a little. I feel like I can answer this for you.
All right, let's hear it.
Gabby from Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that's okay. That's a pretty good one, because I remember not really liking her from the beginning, but once I understood basically who she was, and then how she kind of had that remarkable arc of going from being just damn Eldians, fuck you, to just being a warrior, the polar opposite of Eren, to becoming the polar opposite and just saying, I don't want this war anymore. I don't care about wars, because people are people, no matter what. I thought, yeah, that's actually a really good one. I didn't even think of that, but you're right, and maybe I didn't think of that because I really don't hate her as much as I did, but yeah, that's a good one.
I feel like there's some. Oh, I used to hate Priscilla from ReZero. That is one.
Okay.
I used to hate Priscilla from ReZero because I used to always just like seeing what she did to Subaru. I was just on the whole mindset as, hey, fuck her. Why would you do that to Subaru? That's my guy. But then I rewatched ReZero and then I went, oh.
That's why.
Not saying I agree with it, but okay, I kind of see her point a little. And actually just with also just reading the light novel of it, I love Priscilla. Like, she gets moments that the anime doesn't show, so even at that point, the moment I hated her, I didn't have that same standpoint with her character, so I already liked her. So I'll say Priscilla from ReZero.
It's a good one.
The second question, which anime has cooler heroes? A, My Hero Academia, or B, One Punch Man?
Ooh. Let me think.
What do we define cooler as?
My Hero has quirks, and they could be pretty unique quirks. One Punch Man. As much as I love One Punch Man, I think I have to give it to My Hero, just because some of those quirks are just really out there and just really unique, and I think it just makes it cooler in a way.
Who are your not necessarily favorite, but like who would you classify as like the coolest heroes of My Hero?
Definitely All Might when he's not a methadone addict.
When he's not on crack.
Right. Pretty much the basic heroes, you got All Might, you got Bakugo. I like Bakugo, even though I know he's just a plain flame dude. I don't know, it's just something about that flame. I like fire. So I guess and also
Todoroki.
Icy Hot. Thank you. Icy Hot's pretty cool too, just because he's got both powers and he could use them as disposal. That's really cool too. There's one that I like that I feel like it's a bad rap.
Bad row.
Kirishima, who's got the hardening techniques, pretty cool.
Oh, well, he's a very beloved character.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this is unfair just because I haven't read all of My Hero, but to me, I'll just go with One Punch Man. Weirdly enough, I do think a lot of One Punch Man characters can be corny, but intentionally because, like, for example, like with some of the hero names that are like very redundant with their abilities, whatever it may be, like Metal Bat. Oh, it's Metal Bat because he has a metal bat. Like, that's lame as hell, but he's a cool person. You know what I mean? But like, you have heroes like that, Metal Bat, who is my favorite hero in One Punch Man. You have Zombie Man, who's like this. I always say he's like this Van Helsing vampire hunter type of dude.
Yeah.
You have people like, even Pit God is very cool. Anime onlys haven't seen it, but Pit God is actually a cool character. For all my manga readers, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I guess it goes towards my manga bias with reading One Punch Man to the point I have and dropping My Hero to the point I did. But yeah, I'll go with One Punch Man.
All right. Next question. This question is for Sasuke and Everything Animated. Well, perfect timing. Which version of Tyrion is your favorite? A, King of the Hand, B, Dwarf of Castle Rock, C, the Murderer, and D, Hand of the Queen.
Definitely not the last one.
No, fuck that version to eternity. Probably Hand of the King, just because he was, well, I don't know what version of this is, but I love him in season 1. I think that's why I really fell in love with him was season 1, because I was like, we have a dwarf as a character. What could he do in this universe? And it showed just how just his mind and the way that he talks could get him out of anything was what I really liked about him. But definitely season 4, he owned it too, was just, when he was on trial. I mean, you bring it up constantly, Sasuke, where he's like, I could have let you die.
Yeah.
That was a great scene, but Hand of the King's pretty good. I like it.
I would probably agree with you, Hand of the King, because that was when he was under Joffrey and basically was preventing him from turning the kingdom into complete ruin. But yeah, he had a lot of good moments like that. He's just because of his familial standing with Joffrey, he had a different relationship as a normal hand would have. So you would see Tyrion do things that was beyond the power of the Hand of the King, to where like his personality would show. Because if you're the Hand of the King, you have to kind of submit to a certain point, as we've seen like other Hand of the Kings do. You can't be yourself in that position. You have to do what's best, or so like, but in that position, because he was like family with Joffrey, he was able to still be himself while still holding all that power. So it's this weird Tyrion that we didn't really see, or that could never be born. The only time we seen Tyrion have that amount of power and his personality was the last one, Hand of the Queen. But that version of Tyrion is awful, so we don't talk about that.
No. I don't even... Season 8 Tyrion is like non-existent, to be honest. Like, they didn't know what to do with his character. They just turned him into a guy that stands around and
makes dick jokes.
Makes dick jokes and looks at things happen. That's essentially what he did.
Basically, yeah.
Oh.
The light ruler question didn't even mention feet this time, but it still came around to it. It's like this. It's like this circle. It's a cycle. A boomerang. It'll come back to it. Next question. You're going to Disney World and you had to buddy up with one of these three people. Who are you picking from these? 1, Deku. He cries on every ride you go on. 2, Tompa. He tries to spike your food / drinks to give you diarrhea. 3, Yamai. I feel like this is easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yamai, so I could throw her off the Ferris wheel.
Oh wow. You're more creative than I am. Okay. Fair point.
Throw her off the Ferris wheel. She's like, top of the Ferris wheel. Can I get a picture? It's like, yeah. You get close to that window over there. I'll take a picture of both of us. And then I do that, and then just shove right out the door.
God. Jesus Christ. Well, for my non-murderous answer, I'll go with Deku. Crying on every ride I go on. Listen, I'm not a rider when it comes to any amusement park type of things. I have I have like motion sickness. I used to have like weird feelings in my stomach, and I didn't know what to call it at the time. It was just like this jumping feeling in my stomach whenever I would go on car rides, and I'd be like, why do I feel like this with car rides? And then I realized it was motion sickness. But yeah, I have that pretty bad. Not to say I've never been on rides. I've been on that one ride that is like a hand and like swings everybody around. I've been on that one time.
Yeah. I love roller coasters. I can't get enough of them.
I would die on a roller coaster. I would.
And it sucks because everybody in my family hates them.
Oh.
My girlfriend hates them. My son is afraid of them. So I'm like, fine, I guess I'll go on myself again. Yeah, it's hard to get people that just love rides like you do, but
yeah. But I'll go Deku because I'm not going with the guy that's going to like literally try to spike my drinks. What?
Yeah, who would want that?
And then Yamai, come on, we're not choosing Yamai in any of these circumstances. Yamai's
I am just scared of her. I just fake it along and just give her a fake sense of security, and then when she thinks everything's all good, goodbye.
Oh my God.
All right, next question. Most overrated and underrated anime this season. I wouldn't know what was underrated because I feel like I haven't seen that much this season. Overrated? I don't feel like there's many that are overrated either. I guess if I was to say one that I haven't, mind you, I haven't seen this one, is the 100 Girlfriends one, because everyone fucking talks about that one, and I'm like, what makes this so good? It's just a stupid harem anime.
Yeah,
you know that.
I heard a lot of people talking about that, and yeah, I'm not going to get into it at all. So overrated. I feel like I could do the underrated a little better, but overrated. Well, no, because I did answer this before. I think the most overrated anime of this year, it was this year, right? Or was it this season?
This season.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, this year I would have some names. I think I know which one you're talking about. So.
This season overrated. I mean, maybe like 4 weeks ago I would have said Frieren, but I actually believe that it's starting to live up to the hype a little. I still think it's a little overrated, but I feel like it's way living up to the hype, more so now than it was before. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Damn. I don't know. Nothing's overrated. Y'all suck. You're overrated. You're overrated.
Whoever wrote this question, you're overrated.
Underrated though?
Goblin Slayer season 2. No,
Oh my god.
I'm kidding. I haven't watched a single episode of that.
I'll just say it technically isn't from this season, but it ties into the season. I'll just say Kenshin. Because I haven't seen anybody talk about Kenshin. Which
Okay,
I can understand.
That's actually a pretty good one.
Yeah. I can understand people not talking about Kenshin because of the mangaka and what he's done. So I'm not mad at that at all, but I think that the anime is actually doing a good job. So yeah. That's what I'll go with. Next question. Which is the hardest? What?
Adamantium. And then vibranium.
Vibranium. Okay. It was a setup for this joke. C, when he looks at Vladilena. Well,
definitely that.
Yeah. No need to answer obvious questions.
It's not even a question. I mean, that thing could pierce through the heavens.
Yeah. Side note, one time I got in an argument with C. And in this argument, for whatever reason, he looked at his phone and there was a picture of Vladilena. And then, of course, within milliseconds, he got extremely, as the kids say, bricked up. And I was in a fight with him, of course, and I couldn't get through to him in any which way. So I went to, give him a little dick punch. I did that. Had to get a whole new arm. My arm fell off. Just fell off.
Damn. It shattered?
Shattered. Like in pieces. Just. You remember what happened to Spider-Man in Endgame? Or not Endgame, Infinity Wars?
Oh yeah.
That's what happened to my arm. Just disappeared.
Damn. Just turned to ash. Fuck.
Yeah. That substance was the hardest thing I've ever seen in my life. Hardest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I don't disagree. Vladilena makes him long and hard. He said it many times.
It needs to be revised. It's not long and hard. It's the long and hardest.
Yeah.
Hardest.
Yeah. That's something he needs to get tattooed across his chest. He's the long and hardest.
Did you Sano, did you see that news that The Longest Yard is going to have a remake?
Really? Another one?
Yeah.
I mean, The Longest Yard has already had a remake, which is actually not a bad remake with Adam Sandler. I think it's actually kind of good. But another one?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like a remake of a remake. Why would you do that?
Oh, I mean, who's going to be Adam Sandler this time? Who's going to be Burt Reynolds? I mean, come on. I didn't hear that, but that's really annoying. Next question. Who should not be a member of the Avengers? Clint, Vision, Wanda, Ant-Man. Who's Clint?
Clint.
I don't remember Clint, so I say him by default. Hold on, let me look it up.
Yeah, Clint.
Avengers
MCU.
Clint. Oh,
his
okay,
name is Clint.
he's Hawkeye.
I didn't know his name was Clint this entire time.
I didn't know that either.
The whole time I'm like, are you talking about Clint Clark? Who the hell are you talking about?
Okay, so that's Hawkeye. So Hawkeye, Vision, Wanda, Ant-Man, Clint, still Clint.
Really?
Because Hawkeye, I mean, if I had to pick, because here's the way I look at it. Hawkeye is really good in pinpoint accuracy with a bow and arrow. Vision is basically a god. Wanda is also basically a god. And Ant-Man can shrink and do all this, and he's a scientist and he's super smart. So, sorry, Hawkeye.
To me, it's not more so. It's not like who has the most power, because obviously Hawkeye is like severely underpowered compared to every one of these characters. It's more so to what they've done for the Avengers or what they've
what they bring.
Yeah. And I feel like Hawkeye earned his stripes in that first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
He's not nearly as strong as anybody, but he's still up there fighting with it, shooting his bowls and doing his thing, making clutch shots. I feel like he earned his spot in the Avengers. Vision?
He was just kind of created, to be honest.
Yeah, Vision is a little weird to me. Even Wanda kind of, paid her dues a little. Ant-Man, he was a lot laughing stock for a bit, but he kind of also gained people's respect a little bit. I would say Vision, even though he's super powerful. He's a weird character to me in Avengers. Maybe it's because he's not human. Maybe I'm being racist. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. All right. Still going with Clint, though. Sorry.
Which era had the best shonen anime? Oh my god. Okay. So let me sit up for that. You sat up at the same time.
We both sat up.
So A, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, Kenshin the 90s, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach the 2000s, My Hero, Black Clover, Dr. Stone the 2010s, Demon Slayer, JJK, Chainsaw Man right now. Which era had the best shonen?
Well, I already know what I want to say.
I know my answer.
And the only reason I'm saying this is because of just how I feel about everything overall when it comes to anime. I feel like we live in the best season, in the best shonen anime right now. And the only reason I say that is because DBZ, Naruto, One Piece, all these people walked so that Demon Slayer and JJK could run. These anime were inspired by all these other ones. I'm not saying that I don't like those anime, because I always have a special place for DBZ and, Yu Yu Hakusho, My Hero, or not My Hero, Full Metal Alchemist. Well, My Hero too, I guess. I thought I saw Full Metal Alchemist. Sorry. But those are great, but they're not perfect, so to speak, because when we grew up in that time frame, that was something that we could either watch that channel, watch that anime, or we could watch nothing, so to speak. So we grew up with Dragon Ball. We grew up with One Piece and all that other stuff. But in this day and age, you can choose to watch Demon Slayer. You can choose to watch JJK. You don't have to just sit and watch. And we have a whole collection of anime at our fingertips that is just so amazing. Just to think that everything is just at our fingertips. Anime is as popular as it's ever been, and I'm so happy for it. But I would say, the only reason I say right now is, like I said, because I feel like as great as those shows were in the past, Shonen now learned from those shows, and I feel like we get less filler because of that. I feel like we get shows that are just so well paced, and I just enjoy it. Not to say that I don't like them outright, because they'll always hold a special place in my heart. I just feel like right now is the best time for shonen anime, and just anime in general, in my opinion.
So you're going with Demon Slayer, JJK, and Chainsaw Man?
I guess if I have to pick those, sure, yeah. I'm just saying right now.
Okay. I'm going with the 2000s. And
fair enough.
Here's the reason why. I feel like I agree with you that there is like this certain thing that we're just saying shonen, where shonen had to learn things from. We can even go back to the further in the 90s, like let's say like Fist of the North Star, whatever it may be.
Right.
Like all different type of shows like that. I feel like there was this learning curve. Like you said, for anime to run, whereas other anime may have walked. Like there was like this formula that needed to be replicated and reformed and just refined. I think it was refined in the 2000s with Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. The anime that we know as to be the big three.
Yeah.
I feel like, because I feel you definitely on the whole thing of there being no filler. That is definitely a plus when it comes to just experiencing anime in a modern world where you have streams and you don't have to watch it on TV and you have everything immediately readily available. But just in terms of the quality, I feel like things got so good to the point that people started to try to copy or replicate things that didn't necessarily make things good. I think everything got polished in that era of Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. Polished to the point that, because I feel like with JJK copies a lot of things that Bleach has done or Hunter x Hunter has done. And it's in a way that isn't to the same quality of those things because they don't understand the essence of why it works. They understand like the effect of what it did, but they don't understand how to actually replicate that. And I think it got to a certain point with the 2000s era to where people copied things to the perfect degree in a way. Because you as a creator, you have your influences, right? Everybody has mostly with Naruto and One Piece, Bleach. Everybody referenced Toriyama as like their go-to guy, as like, you know, Dragon Ball is the reason why I do what I do. Right. Dragon Ball is my inspiration, whatever it may be. And Dragon Ball has its problems for sure. We know that. Yeah. But we kind of give it slack because it was the first roadblock, well, not the first roadblock, but like one of the early animes or early mangas. So it didn't really have like the same type of field that other anime had in the future, to where it knew the landmines to avoid and whatnot. So for me, it's just it's Naruto and One Piece and Bleach, because I feel like that was where it's the same era where I feel like everything was perfected and copying things that worked, and it's the same era where other anime tried to copy them and it didn't work.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all that. It's very, you know, we definitely see anime just, you know, you have your perfections and then they just, I feel like they get better and better, and not all of them are gems. Some of them definitely try. They're carbon copies. Sometimes they don't have a soul with that carbon copy of what they try to do with it, but I definitely think that it's really insane to think, like, in a world where you look at Hollywood and everything's reboots and everything's sequels and everything's just everything is just the same thing rehashed differently, but anime still figures out a way to make things unique even in 2023. And I think that's just incredible.
Yeah. The whole era thing though kind of reminds me of just like how eras work with gaming consoles and like just gaming in general, you know, because to me, my peak of gaming was the PS2, where like it was so many diverse and different games, and that was the console, of course, that I liked to play. You know, I wasn't on Xbox like that, but yeah, with like, you know, even though PS4 has like better graphics and all these different specs that are objectively better, I had more fun with PS2 because it was so many different games I was playing at that time, and just I feel like, again, things were refined to a point to where they couldn't go any further. The only further they got was with superficial things such as the graphics.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. I'm the same way, like the GameCube and the 360. I feel like 360 was the peak. Like when you look at the 360 and you go back and you just see the titles of those games: Gears of War, BioShock, Mass Effect. I mean, all those games are fucking remade and remastered now. They're just so good for their time, and I agree. I feel like graphically games are better, but I feel like the creativity was more inspired back then, and the so many games. It
Yeah.
was just like we will never get a game. I think we were talking about it the other day, like Def Jam Fighters.
Oh yeah, we'll never
That
get
game
Def
would
Jam.
never ever
Nope.
come out now,
Nope.
ever.
Ever.
So it's definitely a period in time in which games were they were new enough to where people wanted to be a part of them, but it was also they weren't like like the original Nintendo or something where it just didn't look like a game. It was a game and it looked like something different. Yeah. Crazy. It's my turn. Next question. Who would you spend the night with? Mary Jane from Fairy Tail, Mia from Monster Musume, Marin from My Dress Up Darling, and Mia, a lot of M's, from my Bunny Girl Senpai.
Was this intentional?
I would assume so. But
Yeah,
also
well,
spend the night?
Two of them are underaged.
Yeah, bye, Marin. Go have fun with Gojo. Mia, you're invisible, so go away.
And then one's a monster.
One's
But
literally
no,
a monster.
Both
that
of them.
will
Mira Jane is also a monster. If you haven't read Fairy Tail.
No, I haven't. But Mia, she's a snake girl. She basically coils and wraps around you to get body heat. So she would kill you. I don't like any of these choices.
Hold on, let me show you a picture of Mira Jane, just if you aren't aware of Fairy Tail. I feel like you would. You might like Mira Jane. I'm a fan of Mira Jane. I'm gonna show you two pictures of Mira Jane to try to change your mind.
We're talking about person though, right?
Yeah. Totally. This is semi appropriate. I didn't want to, send in any hentai.
That's okay. We're all adults here.
Are we?
Well, I guess he's not technically not an adult, but he's not here, so.
Oh wait. Okay, no. To do this, the screen is going to look a little weird. I'm going to deal with it. Why does he upload that?
I don't know. He was giving us facts, and now he's giving us tits.
All right. I sent it.
Okay. All right. I see what we're working with here. Will she strangle you in the night to get warmth?
Mira Jane's actually pretty nice.
Okay, I'll go with her then. I don't even know her, but yeah, we'll go with her.
Yeah, I'll go with Mira Jane too. I don't like monster girls too much.
Monster Musume.
All right. Next question. Oh my god. Who wins? A. Prime Whitebeard from One Piece, or B. Base form Baragon from Bleach. Baragon is Spada number. Baragon is the Spada number. Was he 2 or is he 3?
Let me see. Bleach Baragon.
I think he was the Spada number 2. What do I remember? Because Lucior was 4. I think Haribel was 3, and I think he was 2. Stark was 1. Baragon was the old guy. I know that for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, it says he's the second Espada.
Okay, so he's number 2. Barigon
Yeah.
wins. Barigon has basically he can aid you. So
Oh, damn.
yeah. He was able to age Soifon to the point to where her arm became a skeleton.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I
it
think
was
I
all
remember
bone.
that.
Yeah, it was all bones. I don't think, and then just to scale it with like Soul Reapers in general, like they're all like lightning fast. One Piece characters can also be pretty ridiculous too, but I don't think there's anything that Whitebeard can do that would phase him. He would just be sitting there with his skeleton face, like amusing. I don't think he would care.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'll definitely go with him in this fight, in this hypothetical.
Okay, next question. All right, got a couple more, then we're done. What anime / manga redeemed itself the most in your eyes? I don't know if I've said. Okay. Redeemed?
Redeemed.
I mean, does this count? I went into Keijo thinking it was going to be something stupid, but I actually really enjoyed it when it ended.
Yeah, I guess in a way, yeah.
This is going to be the worst anime ever made, and it's going to be stupid. And the fact that the people that created it knew that, and they went with it, and they actually animated it really well and everything. I was literally just like, okay, so they know that they're dumb and they're rolling with it.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Just embrace the whole stupid the premise.
Yeah. So I guess I'll give it to that.
I have two. So I'll say the first one I want to get out of the way is Watamote for me.
God, I was, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I did not like Watamote in his first 40 chapters, which is a lot of chapters, granted. But it was just, to me, it was just like vacuum of, I guess, like just ripping on your main character, which I didn't like. And I didn't really appreciate it. Some things could be funny, but I just felt like there was no real redeeming light in it. Because you can't have punishment without the pleasure. Like there has to be some type of balance to everything. And I felt like there was no balance with that series. Like there was with seeing Tomoko fail the way she did, there was no actual successfulness in her endeavors. But Watamote hit a stride. I don't know who talked to who. I don't know how the mangaka got this in his head, but he finally decided, hey, I'm going to actually make a plot with this story and not have the character be in complete despair. And then the minute they did that, the minute Tomoko started making friends and, just being a little more socially acceptable, I couldn't believe it. Came a different,
really good.
Yeah, different series for me.
I mean, I only knew of the anime, and then you told me to read the manga, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah,
it was so much better.
Ugh. Yeah, you watch the manga or you watch the anime, then you read the manga, then you'll get a completely different experience. But
it's so true.
The other anime I have in mind was Quintessential Quintuplets, because I thought going
into good one.
Yeah, going into it, I thought the premise was so stupid. I was so you would not understand how condescending I was towards this manga. I'm like, I got my teacup in hand, pink in the air. I'm like, ho 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 ho, harem anime with sisters. Oh, stupid. And then I actually read it, and I'm like, okay, wait, this is actually good. Pretty much that.
Yeah, I could have never guessed at all. When you told me to read it, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's read this thing, see if it gets good. Sure enough, it did.
Yeah, I also thought it was like some D-Gen type of thing, but it wasn't even that, so.
Right. Yeah.
Had a lot of fun. So the next question is, which MCU character would win in Squid Game? A, Iron Man, B, Clint, C, Spider-Man, D, Captain America.
Spider-Man. He's got the Spidey sense. I think that would be perfect for Squid Game.
Ooh, that's a good point. See, I wasn't going to go in that direction because I thought to myself, well, it depends on what Spider-Man you do, but in general, Spider-Man is a little childish, so he may like fuck up at some point because he. But thinking about that, spider senses really does help in that situation. Yeah. I gotta go with that.
Yeah, he'd be the best.
Yeah.
Who would? Oh, this is actually a perfect question. I know you're not a Star Wars fan, but who wins in a 1v1? Yoda in his prime or Darth Vader in his prime, not Anakin? Yoda in his prime is pretty good.
I thought Darth Vader was like crazy though.
I mean, Yoda is extremely powerful with the Force, so he would use that with his advantage. But Darth Vader is on another level. He's like the second strongest Jedi behind Luke. So, and also, Darth Vader laid waste to planets. Like, this is a man, because it never showed this in the movies or whatever, but in like the books or whatever, he would like lead sieges of clones and just like he would be in the front, literally just slicing people down, doing whatever. Like, oh, he was just unbelievable. It's a shame we never got that in a live action version, which I would have loved to have seen, but I would probably have to go with Darth Vader in his prime. He was unstoppable. The only thing I would say that could defeat him is the fact that if Yoda could do something to his machine, which helps him breathe. If he gets that machine, he's gone. But by the time Luke fought him and killed him, he was an old man. So, yeah, Darth Vader in his prime.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it. You know, I don't really have that much Star Wars information on bank, but knowing that Darth Vader is stronger than Obi-Wan, I mean, like, it's not a lot of characters stronger than Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
so that's kind of my whole mentality with it.
Yeah, the only reason Obi-Wan got the upper hand on him was because A, he had the high ground, and B, he had his experience over Anakin's youth. So, I hate you!
I hate you!
You were the chosen one. Oh, man.
In your opinion, who's the best stand-up comedian out of these four? Oh, I actually like this question. I actually love this question. A, Chris Rock.
Is a great question.
B, Dave Chappelle. C, Kevin Hart. D, Eddie Murphy.
Wow, those are all really good.
Yeah, these are good comedians.
Really good. So Eddie Murphy was definitely big in the 80s and was just a pioneer for pretty much all these guys, to be honest. Kevin Hart, he was in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I feel like it was his peak, but then over the years, he's doing his own thing with commercials and straight to Netflix movies, which he plays the same person in everything.
The little person.
I mean, he's making money off it, so I don't hate him for that. But I mean, I feel like he was his funniest around 2010. Like, that was his most funniest when he did the no nipple joke and stuff like that. Like, that was his best. Chris Rock is always hilarious. I feel like he's gotten better with age. But what?
I feel like all these comedians are great at so many different things. Like, there's a different ways to skin a cat. There's different ways to be funny. I think Chris Rock is really good with his writing.
He is. Yeah, he is just like he's really good with Like he always tells those jokes uh, about relationships, and one of my funny jokes that I like of his is like he has a couple where he talks about if you made bullets $1,000, nobody would kill each other. It's like you'd really have to hate somebody to want to save up for that bullet. It's like, I'm gonna kill you once my paycheck comes through.
Yeah, I've seen all of them too, or not seen, but I've watched all of them. I've watched stand up from all of these comedians. So, my opinion is not biased in the situation to where like I have no knowledge on one of them. I've seen Chris Rock, I've seen Dave Chappelle, I've seen Kevin Hart, I've seen Eddie Murphy, I've seen all of them.
Yeah.
I don't
me,
know. I was gonna say, what do you say?
I'm gonna pick Dave Chappelle. The man had one of the best TV shows in the early 2000s, and that was the Chappelle Show, and it was like every episode was just a gem. People quote it, the next day when you go to school or work or whatever, and it was just the best. Dave Chappelle literally had a great show, left it because he felt like he couldn't outdo the third season, walked away from $50 million, and then just did his own thing. And now he's a household name because he refuses to, what's the word? He's uncancel. You can't cancel the guy. He could say and do whatever he wants, and he is uncancelable, if that's a word. But and he, I don't know if you heard about this, like he did actually try to get his money back when he did walk away from Comedy Central. 20 years later, when he did a special, he talked about how, I don't know, like he was pissed off at Netflix or somebody like streaming the Chappelle Show, and he didn't have the actual rights of it because he walked away from it. He talked to one of the execs. Well, actually, they reached out to him because he was like talking on the special about to boycott Netflix or boycott blah blah blah, and the CEO of Paramount, because they own Comedy Central and everything, paid him $50 million. He actually honored the contract that he walked away from 20 years ago, and he told everybody, I can officially say, Comedy Central, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. Dropped the mic and then walked out. I was like, I didn't know that was a thing. And he actually, like, I don't know any comedian or anybody for that matter who's done something like that. So I definitely have to say Dave Chappelle, because he's one of the brilliant minds, and I swear he could just tell a story about anything, and it's just amazing. You just listen to every word he says.
Yeah, see, like stand-up comedy, first of all, I want to acknowledge stand-up comedy is very hard. Comedy in general is very hard because you're putting out scenarios, and there's like this funny thing that you have no idea people are going to laugh. You don't know how people are going to react. You have to, because comedy is like it's more of a art than it is like a science. Like you have to navigate it in a certain way for things to land the way you want it to. But I mean, all of these guys are pretty brilliant with what they do. Eddie Murphy, as you said, is a pioneer. But for me, I would probably go in the same direction as EA with Dave Chappelle. I think his shining part in stand-up comedy is what you said, his scenario writing. Like he is very good in just like telling you, like storytelling and just general storytelling, telling you a story and getting you to laugh at it. And another thing I like from comedians is them making the criticism on society with their comedy, which may not always lead into it being the funniest thing that you ever seen. But I also think that's just a talent, like being able to relate to people in a certain way with your comedy. That's a talent. I think Dave Chappelle had that in abundance. I think all of these guys have different things that make them great comedians, but Dave Chappelle for me is the one that I was able to relate to a little more and just, I guess, enjoy their their brand of comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun fact, I actually got to see him live.
Oh, really? When was this?
Yep. God, this was actually 10 years ago. I think it was 2013 or 2014, somewhere around there. It was
Okay.
called the Oddball Festival. And the reason why it was called that, it was out in an amphitheater, and it was like a mixture of all these different comedians. One of them being Fly the Conchords, which they're like a musical kind of band, comedian duo, whatever you want to call. And then that was the first time I ever saw Hannibal Buress, and I thought he was really funny. But yeah, we got to see Dave Chappelle. That was like the same year that, I don't know, I think he was somewhere on the East Coast, and like he was getting heckled, and he just decided to stand on stage and do nothing until his set was up. So when everybody came to watch him, they said no recording whenever Dave Chappelle came on. And yeah, it was pretty interesting, but he was just as funny then as he is now. I feel like he's gotten better with age.
Yeah. I feel that.
That was a long one. Last one of the night. Who would be the best host for a symbiote? Guessing the Venom symbiote. Shinichi from Parasite. Deku from My Hero. Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen, or Naruto from Naruto for some reason. So I guess the older Naruto.
Who would be the best host? What would make you the best host?
You just give him some like cookies and some milk. You just come on over. I don't. I don't know. I would say Yuji just because it seems like he can eat a bunch of stuff and he's totally still there.
I would go with Naruto just because he would actually try to reason with them. Whereas, does Deku even have that? Like, I know
it's supposed to be like the power all for one, or sorry, one for all, and it's like the descendants of all for one.
All the past users of it.
Yeah.
So I guess Deku would be good for it. But Shinichi, we already seen where he tried to kill Migi, so I wouldn't say him. Yuji is Yuji's gonna try to take control for himself. So I don't know what like best host would mean, but I would say Naruto. Naruto works pretty much in conjunction with Kurama by the end of Naruto. So yeah, I would go with him.
All right.
So that is it for our viewer questions. Oh my god.
Ooh. We 3.5 hours. See, if he was to see this one, he'd be like, "Oh my god, what did you guys done?"
He's gonna be like, "I'm glad I wasn't a part of that."
Yeah, he's gonna cry. I know he is. He's crying right now.
Yeah. But I guess just say where to follow us and stuff like that. As for me, you can follow me on my main channel, Satsuki the Savage, YouTube, Satsuki the Savage, that's with a DA, not a THE, on Twitch. That's where you can always find me streaming. On the weekends, Saturday specifically, around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we finished Rain Cold, so I'm gonna play Fire Emblem Three Houses. I'm still playing Persona 5 Royal. I play LA Noir occasionally and other various games. Of course, we have a Patreon that you guys, EA has posted that. We have a Patreon, so go ahead and click that if you're interested. Have a Twitter, and EA is going to tell you the other places and other avenues you could follow us on.
Yeah, you can follow me. It's in the link below. There's everything animated. There's my channel. Not doing much of anything. Pretty much the story of my life. Just a busy man working and stuff. But Patreon, we have a couple things going on over there. We had a drunk talk, me and Satsuki, and we had a Madoka Magica movie review on the third movie, and that's worth all of us, the whole gang. So If you're new, you just came here because of C Tactic's wonderful trending video. He's normally on here. He's just been very busy with Attack on Titan. And the reason why we haven't talked about Attack on Titan is because maybe possibly sometime in the future we'll be talking about it on his channel. So definitely subscribe to this channel because he'll be here. We talk about seasonal stuff. And just because Attack on Titan is over doesn't mean you can't get more of C, you can't get more of us, you can't get more of Satsuki. All three of us together, we are a wonderful trio. So welcome everybody that's subscribed and came. We really appreciate it. The fact that we're at 419 subscribers when last week I feel like we were at like 360 something.
Yeah.
Is just insane. So thank you for stopping by and thank you for subscribing. We truly appreciate it. If you're watching now and haven't subscribed, we want to get to 500 because we want this channel to be monetized. We want it, please. Please give us that.
Bad.
We've been wanting this for years. We've been doing this. This is our 5th year. We originally started on C Tactics channel and now we're doing it on this channel. So let's get that up. And yeah, as far as me, I got something planned. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Sasuke's channel, subscribe to C Tactics, which you probably already have. And yeah, thank you all for stopping by.
All right. Appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate the chat for chatting, making this discussion a lot more fun. But me and EA, we are out. Goodbye.
Later.